Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Weekly Shonen Jump for the week of January 3rd, 2020. On the cover, we have the second half of the big ol' people drawing characters they like, I guess, in from One Piece cover of Weekly Shonen Jump. I mean, I was told by chat that this was, everyone got to choose their favorites, but I have to imagine there was some fudging done. Like some of these, sure, I could see some of these being favorites, but some of them are also just way too like lined up. Like Andy and Smoker is such a perfect it just feels fudged. Also, this just seems bigger than it did last week. Like, am I wrong? The background, I mean, specifically. It seems so much more wide or like more zoomed in than usual. And it even feels like more pixely, which is weird. Like, yeah, my computer's not zoomed in or anything, but it's taking up so much more space. Not that it's, a problem. I'm just curious to see if that's going to mess up my thumbnail at all. My favorite, I mean, Roboco and Sanji, extremely good. Uh, What's his face and Arlong, good combo. Like Arlong just looks really good in the Jujutsu Kaisen mangaka's art style, because he does have a different style with his color spreads than with his like normal manga. And I think this looks really good. Like it is actually like he is leaning a bit into not even the One Piece style per se, but I don't know how to put it. Like I do like seeing characters drawn in someone else's art style wholesale all, completely differently. Because, that's always a fun thing to do. But I think Arlong here looks really good because he is like a halfway point between the very sketchy Jujutsu Kaisen look and everything else. Oh, hey, Babab. I think I will. The problem is that I actually have not done the pre-recordeds yet, so I thought I'd do a sneaky do all the pre-recordeds before anyone gets here. So I'm not going to tell anyone, actually. I'm just going to keep it silent. Oh no, you noticed? Hmm. You raise a good point. I'm not totally sure what my plan was. I might just have to amend this. Because my thing was also, I'm just going to do our Blood Oath and Sakamoto Days as pre-recordeds, but I might just make them all live stream this week. Like at this point, it kind of defeats the purpose. I would just have to leave Discord and then record everything separately without anyone seeing, as opposed to, oh no, I've been hoisted by my own petard. In my attempt to sneakily make the live stream shorter this week, I've instead made it so that it would make the most sense if I just did Black Clover as well. You know what? Let's see how it goes. If I run out of stamina, I might just do a part 2 stream. You do raise a good point though. It might be smarter if I make them post-recorded instead of doing a 5-hour stream. But then again, when have I ever taken the correct way out of these problems? You know what? I will move these to the post-recorded segments that I will invent right now. I have. Listen, Taco, I can't talk about all of this. You weren't supposed to notice. This was supposed to be sneaky in silence. No one was supposed to see it. I thought I could just kind of slip it under the cover. And then it would also serve the dual purpose of being, being able to work out all the usual stream problems, because I would just do those during the pre-recordeds. I had to see if it would work. Well, you have all convinced me that maybe I should just do the post-recordeds at the end. Because the other thing would be me and Roboco. That's the real scary wild card. But this week, I have to imagine, if it's going to be talking about anything in One Piece, it's going to be Chapter 1000 of One Piece. Or, did I say anything in One Piece? I meant anything in Weekly Shonen Jump. So I think I'm safe for spoilers on Black Clover, or Blood Oath, and Sakamoto Days. Oh no, what is this? I'm certain I've actually seen this face, prior to Fire Punch. I couldn't tell you where, but it has that meme energy, where when I saw it, it did, it hit me as intended. It gave me the big shock, but then afterwards, when I was editing the video, I thought, I've probably seen this before. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Okay, so I can just, boop, give y'all the big old pingy ping. I mean, everyone's basically here anyways, but still, it's important. Oh boy, okay. Oh, these are really good. Fred's Luffy, I think, is kind of the least inspired, but all the others are really strong. Ah, this is such a good look. I love it. Ah. Anyways, okay, so starting with the best, let us close this. And oh no, all right. Okay, I don't want to accidentally go into Black Clover, so let's slide this over 3 tabs. And there we are. Let's start off with boop. Undead Unluck, number 46. See you in the here and now. It feels insanely weird to be starting off the stream with Undead Unluck. I mean, not against it. I mean, if we're going to start, why not start strong? But it just, I'm so not used to it. So, see you in the here and now. This is, of course, Victor and I assume Juiz. So, see you in the here and now is obviously it has to be they're getting out of the book, right? Which I guess makes sense. Like, they had a chance to jump backwards, but then Victor, pushed Fuko all the way to the very end of the book. So, yeah, I do appreciate, like, honestly, any writer that can switch between naked non-sexual and naked sexual. Because we've seen some, like, horny-looking Andy, or, some even, like, more exploitative, sexy-looking Victor. But then we also get a lot of, like, non-sexual Victor. Like, just him feeling like this Greek god. Also, I assume this has to be... I wonder if he wants to talk to Juiz specifically. Because this also doesn't seem to be like them in the past. I assume this is... current Victor in Andy's mind, and then current Juiz. Right, so they probably have a limited time. We still don't know how this works, by the way. Like, is this an artifact? Or is it just, some application of science that can overrule Andy's ability to regenerate? Oh, I should probably check to make sure my mic's working, actually, because I was just recording a podcast with Zaku. Yeah, this is fine. I mean, I checked to make sure it was showing up before. I just wanted to make sure all my other, like, channels were muted as well. Just in case I start playing some, I don't know how to turn this into a goof, some AFK Arena in the backgrounds. I want to talk to Mr. Victor. So, I assume this is this is her finally using an honorific for Victor. But it always weirds me out whenever, like, an English translation tries to do that. Because it is the, like... We've called him Victor every single time, but now I need to call him Mr. Victor. Like, there's no real good way to do it in English. That is, like, close to being really good. Like, that is an English honorific, but it's still... It always feels a tiny bit clunky. And that would make sense. Like, we've seen a little bit of Andy's past, but we have not seen, the stuff that Victor has kept locked away. And I could see this chapter ending with them saying, no, we don't get to see that. Yeah, like, I assume this is supposed to be a, like, we've been treating him like, this monster, this, like, nebulous thing, but now I want to speak of him as if he's a person. Okay, here we go! That censor bar! Holy shit! I mean, Fuko's gotten so used to this body. This is also, like... I have seen so many series with, girl, naked guy, girl kicks guy in the nuts, or, punches him in the nuts or whatever. And I usually hate it. But we have learned so much about Fuko, and we know so much about it. Oh my god, I just noticed she broke the censor bar! That's not even what I was reacting to. I was just reacting to the, him and then the zoom in on his face as he's having his dick punched. I'm not used to seeing anything like that. No, she has her gloves on, though, so it's fine. Also, to be fair, like, the more intimate the touch, the more powerful the unlock. And while you might think that touching a penis is inherently intimate, I do think, like, even if her hand wasn't gloved, if it was, like, skin on dick, and she punched Victor, I don't think that would cause that much unluck, because it is inherently a negative, unlucky, like, like, close thing to do to someone. Actually, how does this work? Because, like, the dick should be coming out of here, right? Like, this is the, like, crotch area right below the navel. This is the navel up here. But you got there's something up here, and then it's going all the way down. Like, this can't be what it is, but I'm gonna say it just in case this is a, one of those 1 in a million shots. What if his balls are above his dick? Like, because we know both he and the first version of Juiz, well, we don't know this. It is just speculated that they existed prior to, like, sex and gender. So in that case, what if this is, like, the original form of the cock? And originally, like, the balls were above the dick. Or, like, the dick went up and down at the same time or something like that. Sensor bar also covers the pubic hair. That makes sense. I don't know what the boys in Grand Blue I mean, the difference is, with Grand Blue, I can assume they're pretty normie penises. But Victor is canonically from a different timeline where the rules do not apply in the same way. I think it is possible that his balls could go up. Or, even if it's not that, he could be like a hermaphrodite. And that could be Fuko. I mean, I assume that Fuko saying, I'm not used to seeing anything like that, is just her being embarrassed. It is a, like, I'm not that much of a degenerate. Like, I'm still not used to seeing full-on penis right in my face. But it could also be a, like, I've never seen this type of genital before. Or I've never seen this, like, configuration of genitals. Like, even after seeing Andy's penis this many times, Victor's penis is still, like, it's on a different level. Oh, no. Also, what is the sound of a sensor bar breaking? Okay, so yeah, soul rules. To be fair, actually, this also means that Victor might not have the power to break out of this thing. Like, in real life, quote unquote. If we ever learn what this is, it is possible that it is something where, he wouldn't be able to break out of it legitimately. But because this is a memory world where, like, you can just imagine things, he may have just been able to imagine breaking out, and thus he broke out. I don't want to think about uncoming. Sorry, I'm thinking about uncut uncome. That's how. What was Roboco's ripoff of Undead Unluck? It wasn't uncut uncome, but it had the same energy. I think it was like uncut undone, undone uncut. Like, we're delving into that territory. Also, like, we didn't need this, but I'm glad we have it. I'm glad that the mangaka is really good at, like, when the mangaka wants to, like, close a plot hole, they do it so efficiently. It gives me this very, like, I have a lot of faith in them, not just because so many of the things in the series that come up as questions or as weird things do have actual answers, but also that, like, the answers come at a steady pace, and it is a good mix of, like, here's a long-term mystery, okay, now here's a really small thing that may have been bugging you last chapter. It gives me this feeling, like, when weird things happen, that is why I think of things like, do Victor's balls hang above his cock? Because, like, the mangaka will do things like this, like the sensor bar that goes up, and then later on we'll have the big reveal of, hey, that wasn't just an inconsistency. Like, it's not that the mangaka didn't draw stars in the sky, it's that there were no stars in the sky. It is a form of... How would I put that? I only do this to series where I have faith in the series and in the mangaka. Because if it wouldn't be funny, or it wouldn't be a good, like, take if it was just a ha ha ha, this doesn't make any sense. It is because it is Undead Unluck that I can fully say, what if Victor's genitals look different? Okay, boy. We're also just jumping right into it. Like, from, hey, here's a small thing, to, hey, here is a big thing. Like, I noticed you were acting differently with Miss Juiz. What, do you have a relationship? What's going on there? I saw it. It was fragmented and not very clear, but still, I saw you and Miss Juiz create the organization. Right, it was that specifically. Ah, and when he created that outfit, he also did create it with the union symbol on it. You're just like Juiz. What part of her? I mean, is this gonna come around? Is it that you punched me in the dick just like she did? Oh no. Good point. You have no class, no sex appeal. You're stumpy with a raccoon dog face round with big eyes. Oh no, this is way too savage. But you're heedless of danger when it comes to helping those you cherish, and you're willing to bet it all for them. That spirit, that soul, that's what you have. That's really cool. I also do like that, I mean, we saw this before, but we're also seeing it now, that this is, Andy from this time specifically. He isn't just the, like, amalgam Andy. He is an Andy that is changed by what Fuko did in his memories in the past. But we're not just going to fudge it and say, nah, this is just what he's like on the outside, just here now. Like, he still has no idea what's really going on. And I actually do, like, it is funny But it is also like very fitting to her character that she didn't do the classic like shonen, what are you saying? What are you saying? I'm ugly. Like she just kind of deflates a little bit. And Andy's kind of I mean, to be fair, Andy doesn't know her. Or like this Andy doesn't really know her as much. So I get it. I get they're both like, yeah, that's kind of true. Let's see where he's going with this one. What is this? Like, I'm just going to zoom into this one black spot right here. Because I assume this is the sun, right? So is this God? Like, is this the first look at God that we are getting? Huh. No matter how many hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands of years passed, God's life was out of our grasp. You're right. It could be the Earth. It feels weird that we have this, like, quasi-halo thing going around it, though. Or also, there's, like, a shadow coming off of the Earth as it goes into the sun. Like, that can't be it, right? I also really like this because this is Victor, like, having lost faith. In the same way that Andy has, Andy has much less going on, but even at the start of the series, he had also given up on wanting to live. Like, being immortal makes it easier to give up because, like, nothing's going to happen. Like, you have the time and the privilege, in a way, to be annihilated and to just come back, or to, like, stick around as everything loops over and over again. Whereas Juiz knows that, if she screws up, she will die for real. Like, she has to intentionally, continuously, like, go through this process of looping. And of, finding this, like, the arc once more, and, like, assembling the team and trying to make it work this time. Like, it's so cool that she has this tenacity. Who is this over here? Is that Unbreakable? Like, that's not the Unbreakable outfit, I understand, but is that him without the samurai stuff on? Void. Okay. Because, yeah, like, I recognized Tatiana over there. Or, no, not Tatiana. I really screwed the pooch on that one. Oh boy, what was her name? Gina. I recognized her, but I was not able to actually eloquently say it. I do appreciate that Gina is consistently in the group over and over again. Every single time, I forget, but I wonder if part of why this loop isn't going to work out is because Gina's not there. I mean, part of it's also, Under exists. Oh no! So, why? Like, why specifically kill her, as opposed to just, like, I've decided to give up on helping her? What kind of man wants to see the woman he loves suffer? So they are, the bad end of Andy and Fuko. Because Fuko is the kind of person who would not give up. Like, if Fuko had not had the Union, but if she didn't have the Union, but she was capable of getting to the Ark, I could definitely see this happening with the two of them. Andy once more giving up on wanting to help, and, Fuko being completely resilient and refusing to let go, and just doing it over and over and over again in hopes that somehow they'll be able to succeed. I mean, sometimes we get really, really wide Andy as well. So, like, I like it. I like the wide. And yeah, I mean, I can feel it in my soul. There's no way this loop's gonna pan out. The fact that they have a person who knows the ending, to me, and to be fair, like, it makes it feel guaranteed that there's no way this can completely work out. I feel like we have to have an arc 2 that is, that loop ended, we're gonna start off somewhere in the past, and Andy and Fuko have to once more get back together, and then, take on this problem once more. Okay, I've changed my mind. That last stroke of Unlucky both unleashed, that was a sign of evolution. That's a really good point, actually. Like, I thought it was just, and to be fair, it was disguised as a, this is just a plane crashing out of the sky, but it was specifically getting something that would be unlucky for Victor. I do appreciate that, because that's also this wasn't just Andy evolving and getting a, yet again, another crazy new ability. This is now Fuko also evolving. Which means if you research and figure out God, your unluck will reach them. Which also is such a good way to create in-universe a reason why the characters would have to learn about the lore. Like, in general, how do I put this? In something like Naruto, for instance, there's a lot of lore about the worlds that Naruto himself does not learn, because it's pointless. Like, there are certain things he has to do, but it would be insane if someone was like, okay, sit down, I'm going to teach you everything about the Fourth Great Ninja War, because you need to know all of this for nebulous reasons. Whereas with this, it is a clear, they have no clear pathway to learning about God. but the more they learn about everything overall, the better a picture they can put together about God. So I think this is like a reason for protagonists to need to just learn a bunch of stuff. And yeah, I do want to acknowledge you are right, Gamu. Like, it is specifically something that would be very like this only works this perfectly because Victor and Andy are the same person. The nature of unluck is also really cool because that means there's like with anyone else, you wouldn't really be able to figure out. I mean, I guess it could work with anyone else. Like, if Billy, for instance, learned more about God, would I mean his powers seem insane. But something that would sure be unbelievable would be if God suddenly lost all of its powers and Billy became God. So if he got to that level of understanding, could he do that? This is pretty cool because also, like I appreciate the swerve of this would be the perfect way to experience Victor's backstory, but we're not gonna do it. And it makes sense because Juiz wouldn't actually know all of it. Like, Juiz was number one, so her backstory would be closer tied to, the loops and stuff, or like specifically to the Union. So she would be able to tell Fuko everything she would need to know about this, but she wouldn't be able to say like, hey, here's the origin of Victor. God. Undead Unluck has such an insane energy to it. Like, we did a full page just now of, if you want to get out, you better, like, you have fallen more and more in love with my counterpart there, Andy. And so the way to get out of here would be to learn, take the lessons you've learned, use your power, and then, kill him in this universe, which would then push you out. It just dawned on me as well. The reason, like, one of the reasons, if not the reason why Fuko's Unluck never worked on on Andy would also be that on some level he wanted to die. Like, I don't think Unluck could possibly kill him as long as he wants to die. Like, the moment he realizes that he wants to live, I think will be the turning point, at which point they can't just screw around and use Unluck however they like. I mean, now they have the Unluck bullet, actually, that will help a lot, because, they can divert that Unluck to his fingers. Alright, here we go. See you in the here and now. So, I guess that's the end of the book arc. This also has to be like a metaphysical version of the book, right? Because we know the physical book is enormous. Yeah, oh my god. I would love to see this traditionally animated. Like, the city looks so good. And I think, like, you could make it look really cool by having the city, when Victor does the deadline and all that, like, showing the rubble super, super grittily, like, showing it with a lot of detail. And then as they talk about it, it's low res. And then by this point, it would look more like a picture book. All right. I mean, that's also just a perfect, like, here's the stop. This is the end of this arc. I mean, as soon as she gets out, she might have to deal with with Under. Fair point. Yeah. Like, more so than his death. The most unlucky thing would be if they were separated. That's so good. What a good chapter. Now, I suppose, not as always, but as it is right now, Undead Unluck is the first and the last thing here. Oh no, I didn't write down final ranking. The question is, can anything dethrone Undead Unluck this week? I mean, it's a shame I don't do One Piece on here, because One Piece, I think, I mean, it's good and it's bad. I like giving Undead Unluck the top ranking right now. It feels good. But boy, this One Piece was also a banger. I don't think I'll edit it into the video this week like I said I would last week. I think I'll just link it. Yeah. I mean, God, the end of Chainsaw Man felt so much like the in-universe end of Bakuman, where AG's, consistently, like, hitting the #1 rank of Jump week after week after week consistently, and every other mangaka is trying to dethrone it, but it's not happening. Like, Chainsaw Man felt exactly like that, but specifically in my own personal meta with Undead Unluck. It was this consistent, this arc of Undead Unluck is incredible. It is nigh perfect, but it can't beat Chainsaw Man because Chainsaw Man is still somehow every week better. I mean, there's like an upset or two there, to be fair, but still. Sure, homie, hit me with the pain. Oh, I gotta stop bobbing and weaving. There we are, that works. Oof, that's rough. Because yeah, like I don't read the fan scans or like the leaks or anything. Well, I don't read them before the official release. Obviously, you have seen me read the official release for the first time for like years. But like I do sometimes check it out because I'm curious about like, hey, what did they do for this translation or for that translation? It's always bad and it always looks like butts. Like especially because Chainsaw Man has a very intentionally sketchy style, and it like there is some subtlety to it. And if you darken the tones because you're scanning it out of an illegally ripped book printed on really bad paper, then you're going to lose a lot of that detail, and it looks even worse. Domination Devil. I do really want to like after the whole like potential VTuber thing. I've also talked a lot about wanting to get like mind wipe technology, and I would really like to mind wipe myself and then just like make a fake listing of, series and Jump in order to ask myself like, hey, which of these do you think is good? Which of these do you think is bad? Read all the first chapters. Now, answer it again. Ah, I don't even think it was Devilman for Fiend. I believe Devilman was the term they used to refer to like the weapon humans, like the beings that canonically don't have a name, which made it even weirder, I believe, when it came up in universe that yeah, like we've never had a term for these characters because that there is no word for them. Wait, it was both? Oh no! Oh no! Are you telling me they just didn't make a distinction? Jesus Christ. Okay, that is 10 times worse than I thought it was. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it doesn't directly tie into it, but now I understand why so many people commented on Chainsaw Man just going like, I don't know what's happening. Who are these people? Why is Denji still here? Where's Chainsaw Man? The plan is always the just replace Thermite plan. It's not that I dislike myself. It is just, I know I can be iterated on. I know we can replace me with a better me. It's just going to take some time. Okay, so that is Undead Unluck. Let us move on to Dr. Stone, chapter 180. Wait, that is what I'm doing, right? Okay, yes. I mean, at this point, I couldn't just retract it and say, no, we're not really doing Dr. Stone. Let's go do something else. So whatever. We good. Still doing the ultimate race across South America. Last week we had the big ol', well, 2 weeks ago, yes. We had the big ol', what if we do the, crossing a gulf plan, but instead we started with Kawaku just, like, leaping across the whole thing. I swear to God, if Chelsea has a big role in this chapter, I'm gonna be unhappy. I can't say anything hyperbolic because I feel like it's probably gonna just happen. Ah, they got him in the first half. Okay, you know what? Smart. Boy, what is this face? I just noticed that she had an entire chicken leg in her mouth, I guess? That's a look. Oh, you should know that at the end of the day, Captain Stanley wins every game he plays. There have been a lot of very cool boasts about Stanley, and they've all been correct. But I think the least cool one is Captain Stanley wins every game he plays. I don't look at Stanley and go, yeah, this is the face of a gamer. Z equals 180. Sickening yet beautiful. What could this be? Sickening yet beautiful. It could be the compound, perhaps? Like, if this is like a big ol' armored fortress or something, then it could be a, look at this architecture. Even after 3,700 years, this place still stands, and it's still going to be a problem for us to get into. Or alternatively, it could be something where, like near this area, there were a bunch of people that were trying to protect each other from the blast. Like they were close enough to see it as this, big green light coming right at them, and they were all trying to protect each other. And that is the it's sickening that this happened, yet it's beautiful that they were trying to do this. Okay. I mean, yeah, it is the Amazon rainforest. And it is it's not our Amazon rainforest. It is one that has been fully reclaimed by the rainforest itself. It's been growing, unchanged in the last 3,700 years. Like, it's got to be a lot more gnarly. I'm surprised there are areas where they can just, zip along like there's nothing going on. I mean, I do understand that the rainforest inherently can't be wall-to-wall trees because the trees will overcrowd each other, but still. I'm surprised there's a lot, this much flat land that doesn't seem to really have, shrubbery and stuff on it. Oh boy, we're 10 billion% sure to die. Hey, rubber boots. I was actually just unrelatedly trying to figure out, things you could use rubber for. And yeah, fair. Like, not just as a, we're going to use these to not step on stuff, but also just as a general, like, if you're going to wade through, like, swampy water and stuff. Ah, Zettai has finally been created in the Stone World. Can you believe that we have Zettai, but we do not yet have panties? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I can remember, I'm fairly sure panties have not yet been canonically invented. Or, like, we haven't seen anyone in panties yet. We've seen swimsuits. Swimsuits do exist. But even now, like, Boichi has still kept up the we have never gotten a panty shot from Kohaku. Because almost certainly she does not wear panties. I mean, it also feels like in the same way that, you don't want to dip your bare skin into parasites infested water. It does feel a little scary that, she's got an unprotected crotch, like, centimeters away from polluted water. Or, not polluted water, like, microbe infested water. But at the same time, I mean, I guess people have done that, and that's fine. We've seen some characters with rope panties. Yeah, you're right. I think we've seen the guys with them for sure. I don't know if I can recall any girls wearing them. And yeah, those are some big clamp proportions. That feel when your thighs are bigger than your midsection. That feel when I'm fairly sure Suika has a thicker stomach than Kohaku. How does that work? Okay. I forgot that Tsukasa had a smaller blade. I thought this was, like, the giant blade that he uses sometimes. I thought this was a really weird perspective shot. I mean, even in context, it's a pretty weird perspective shot. Like, it feels like Boichi drew the snake first and then was like, wait, I don't want to cover up the snake with Tsukasa's body, and I don't want to show the audience just Tsukasa's back. So how do I do this to make it clear that Tsukasa's fighting the snake? You got snake chunks. Or snake steaks, actually, is a better way of saying that. That would make sense. Like, if the snake is ambushing him, and then he spins around, and he's like, yeah, got him. I didn't even think about the bugs. Or, like the fact that in Canada, sometimes when I go to... it's been a while. It used to be outside here. It stopped for a while, but, like, sometimes if I just go into a more woody sort of park, I'll get bitten like crazy. And you'd think that would happen in the Amazon for sure. So that makes sense, that they're, just repelling them. What is the strongest living thing in the Amazon rainforest? Gotta be Tsukasa! I'm a little scared that Inagaki is not just doing this as a Chelsea thing. Like, I understand, saying this is Luna the Bug Hater's view. Like, it's just censored. She just cannot see them because she hates them so much. But I'm a little worried we're going to delve into the jokes are just, hey, here's the description of this character. Why? For what purpose? Why could they use army ants? Like, I know you can use maggots to, like, clean infected, like, wounds and stuff, because they'll eat all the, like, rotten meat, but they won't eat the fresh meats. But that can't be what it is. This is alcohol? What purpose? What could they be doing with these ants? Because also, it is something that, like, Senku's the general, he knows everything boy. Chelsea is the, like, I mean, she's part geologist, part just, knowing stuff about South America. So I guess this isn't a, like, geology thing. I thought for a minute this was going to be some sort of, we're going to use the ants to make a bridge. Okay, so it is alcohol. So they turned the army ant extract into a boozy cocktail. Why? Why is this funsies? Why did they do this? Why did they do this? Oh, okay, that's a big brain move, actually. Holy crap. Okay, that's really cool. So yeah, like, now they have immunity from other things attacking them. Meanwhile, Luna is catatonic, as I might also be. I don't have a big problem with ants, honestly. I'm okay with ants, but I'm really bad with, like, swarms of things. Like, I'm okay with, like, a maggot or, like, a few maggots. But if it's, like, a whole bunch of them, oh, no, do not likey. If I saw a stream of army ants, I might also faint. And to be fair, yeah, I did also jump to, are they going to drink this? Did they just want to get wasted? You know what? I'm going to put it down. Locusts are bad. I don't like locusts. Locusts, stay away from my crops. It's a water slide. I'm surprised this isn't even like the classic Dr. Stone. We're making a water slide. It is just presumably them just like going down this river with a water slide visual. Never mind. It's it's so weird that we got the visual metaphor here, and then we got the explanation of the visual metaphor when they weren't doing the metaphor anymore. You know, I'm coming around on Chelsea right now because she's not saying as much. She has been competent, and in this moment, I mean, I guess she's also saying the Amazon River water slide, but her Chelseaness is being covered up by Senku. And yeah, like, I would say the difference between a water slide and rafting down a river is that in a water slide, like, it's way more controlled. Like, you can go left or right, and, you know, there is some danger there. You know, it's a little scary if you got, like, a water slide with the big bends, like we have it at Canada's Wonderlands. But, like, it inherently isn't that dangerous. And there is more of a velocity there. Whereas with a raft, like, you can move from left to right more, and it is much more dangerous. You could also just smash against the rock. The cat mouth is actually very good. The problem is that up until this point, she's been doing the cat mouth and also being extremely annoying. But if they tone down the annoying, I might be more okay with her. I have no doubt that the anime is going to make her the most cursed. My second uncome sentence. Okay. She does have the gamer energy. She might say the N-word.
As someone who has not been keeping up with the series at all,
Yeah.
that's just Suika too. I don't understand how she has I don't know what, a pumpkin on her head or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking at this, and this is just Suika too. Every time I look over at your screen, she's the only character on screen.
Yeah. She's around so much. And they did introduce her with just a giant gourd. It was just Suika's introduction again, but she's tall.
So we are just doing this is Suika too.
But everyone likes Suika 1 better still. This is Suika, but much worse. Because she's not a child, but she acts like a child.
Now, everybody said that about Chrome, and for now, they did not. Everybody loved Chrome better than Taiju immediately.
Everyone loved Chrome. No one said this is just a worse Taiju. I don't think there's been a character in the whole series where someone's pointed them and said this is a worse Taiju. I'm gonna say that right now. Okay, well, we did the water slide. That's where it is. The original device turned everyone to stone. So, I mean, I guess that's gotta be it. It might also just be, like, it's a giant Medusa. Like, that would be the obvious answer, right? Like, it's enormous, and it's still physically there, and that is why it is, you know, both beautiful and, you know, disgusting. Because, yeah, he's also bringing up the, like, you know, especially given how tiny the Medusa is, it feels like we're definitely setting up the, like, no, it's going to be enormous. Like, it's not going to be hard to find this thing. I want a way to automatically shoot a puff of that extract, of that ant extract into the air at a set time. God, Crow is so good! Like, this is not a problem that was brought up initially. It is just Chrome doing what he does. Like, he's looking at the situation, he's saying, like, yeah, we have an answer to this, like, this is working just fine, but we could make it better. Especially if they're sleeping, actually. Like, I assume from the moment they, like, started tracking to now, like, the light is getting lower and lower, so I assume this has all been one day, right? So it would make sense that they haven't slept yet, and if they're sleeping, they wouldn't want the extract to wear off and kill them. So Chrome is, you know, taking this time to go, hey, I'm going to figure out a way to make this work. Just like the Medusa's lights. Oh! Oh, man. We actually just brought that up, right? Or not, like, when this happens, when Senku, you know, did the timed, like, have the revival fluid smash him on the head thing, I remember specifically bringing up the idea of, what if you got into a pod that just constantly dripped revival fluid on you? God, and that makes so much, like, I think, depending on how sophisticated the technology in the series gets, you could get to a point where, like, I'm imagining a bracelet where it has revival fluid in it, and revival fluid is corrosive, so you wouldn't want it to constantly be touching your skin. But you could, like, you know, one drip that, like, you know, touches your skin and then rolls off should be fine, right? I didn't think about that. Wait, did that happen, though? Because the way that the scientists explained it, it was, like, one big blast. Like, they didn't notice a second one. So how would that work? I mean, to be fair, I guess we don't know that. Like, we know they saw the light like envelop the Earth. We don't know if that was like if that was a single big blast, or if that was like one blast and then a second blast traveling right behind it, and then like a third blast traveling right behind that. Like it could have been layered, but then from the International Space Station, it would have looked like one blast. Hmm. Meanwhile, doing more research on the Medusa down here. Hmm. What could they figure out? Like, it feels like they're going to figure out something based on their singular Medusa that is going to line up with what they see when they find, the real big one, or the multiple Medusas. Or I guess it could just be like some sort of big facility that looks nothing like the Medusa we all know and hate, but it is just like a, stoning field generator. Hmm. What is this? I guess that is supposed to be just the sunlight, right? Like between that and this shot, my immediate thought was, wait, did they fire off another Medusa? Like what's happening? But no, I'm pretty sure it's just an effect, right? Ah, okay, it is just sunlight. Fair. Hmm. Oh, she found it. Hmm. No, if there's one right here, there's gotta be a lot more then. Which, I mean, I guess maybe instead of like one enormous one, it could be that, you can only make them on this scale. But there are a ton of them, maybe. Look. Oh boy, what are we gonna see? What is my final guess? Like, the fact that we have a tiny one here makes me think it's not going to just be, like, one giant one. Because it would also feel way too, like, absurdly lucky if it was like, hey, there's one prototype, and then here's the big one. I think it's gotta be, like, a bunch of them, right? Or, like, a bunch of people all holding different ones or something? Like a cult, maybe? Oh, shit. Oof. God damn. So those are all individual tiny Medusas. Oh, yeah. I was definitely underselling it. I didn't. That's so many. What in the world? I mean, also, yeah, because, like, there are Medusas behind them as well. Yeah, I don't know where they were looking. But yeah, that is horrifying. That also means, like, depending on how much battery each one has, the Kingdom of Science might be good for Medusas. Like, if they figure out how to recharge them, or if they don't, like, I guess it depends on how much energy these have. Like, the ultimate move would be if the Y-Man specifically, like, rationed it out so that all of these would fire, and oh, that would make so much sense if it was, like, a million different individual stoning fields. But in the same way that, what is a good analogy for this? It's like how if you have like a tub of ice cream and you leave it out, it's gonna slowly melt. But it melts slower than an ice cube. And then if you have like an entire industrial pallet of ice cream, like they don't melt at the same rate as one tub of ice cream. Like all the tubs simultaneously keep each other cool. And so all the tubs last for way, way, way longer. Like it is multiplicative. Multiplicative? Oh no, I don't know how to say that. Huh. But yeah, like I imagine it is none of these can individually encapsulate the entire planets, but by giving the commands, like they all, try to activate at the same time, and thus they create one big field made out of, like that, like millions of layers of different fields. That also means that, like we had Y-Man, like presumably that was Y-Man, like when Senku opened up the radio, Y-Man gave the command of, like he was trying to remotely activate that Medusa. If they have radios open right now and Y-Man uses their signal, he could just restone the entire planet. Like assuming these have any energy in them. I think it would be really smart if if he did time it out so that the big world stoning also drained all of them. But I also really like Zaku's idea of wanting these to intentionally exist, so that if any civilization finds them and they figure out how to use them, they would then the easy answer would be they test one of these out and they trigger all the others and they restone the whole planet. But the alternative would be they would then be a kingdom of stone. Like, the temptation to use these devices would be unbelievable. I guess it really depends on how much power they have. Because also, like, it depends on what Y-Man knows. Like, for all Y-Man knows, that island could have had, like, all of the Medusas that he had thrown on it, still around, just still waiting for an activation. So in that case, if he had, if he had given the command for the one Senku was holding to activate, maybe it couldn't have stoned the whole world, but maybe it would have, spread out, activated the others, and then they would have all activated, and they probably still wouldn't have stoned the world, but they could have, covered a big, big space. And I mean, while it is terrifying, it is also like this is, an end to all injury. Like with this many Medusas, if used correctly, they can, stone and unstone, everyone in the Kingdom of Science as many times as they would want. It is the most beneficial way to look at it. But then the question is, how do you stop other people from getting this? Or rather, should you stop other people from obtaining these? If you spread this technology, like if they go to India and they start a new civilization there, or there's already one there, do they give those people this technology? Do they give them like a bucket full of Medusas, knowing that one person could, give a, like just give the command of, hey, I'm going to just put one of these in our new government building. I'm going to set it to stone everyone in the government building, and then I run the government. Like that is the scary question. Over the course of 2020, I have come around on the, like, I used to be very anti-gun, and a big part of that was also, that I don't trust myself with one. But I'm coming around on it a bit, especially in a situation where, it is extremely dangerous. In a situation where the world is rejiggering itself. And thirdly, in a situation where guns can shoot healing bullets. Like, it is the... Because it also erases the the thing of a gun can only be used to kill. In this case, the Medusa can be used to turn people to stone or to essentially kill them, but it can also be used to heal them. It is a technology that I think it is immoral to like start a new civilization. Like if there's no one in India, if they go to India, they say, hey, we need rubber, we're gonna make you the rubber capital, and we're going to revive tons and tons of people. We'll give you the formula to revive people. I think it would be immoral for them to not also give them some Medusas. Just as a, if someone is dying, or, if, then the question is, if you have a limited amount of Medusa juice, how do you ration that out? Because it is so miraculous. And because you could also have, like, what if you go to India, for instance, start cracking people out of stone, and then you learn, like, oh, by the way, these people had cancer before the stone, so I guess we gotta restone them. Like, it completely changes the dynamics of the series. It made complete sense for, the one Medusa they had to have, like, barely any charge in it at all. That was a really good limiter. But now those limits are probably going to be broken. I mean, even if we do say that, like, all the juice from these was completely used up in order to turn the world to stone. Even then, we've seen that one Medusa can have, a tiny little spark in it. It would make sense to just carry, like, again, like a bucket of these around. So even if they don't work, you could still like try all of them once, in hopes that you could like turn Senku to stone, for instance, if he's about to die. Oh, really? It is? Hot damn! Happy birthday, Senku! I suppose this is in fact Senku's birthday present. I mean, the socio-political stuff is something I've really wanted in Dr. Stone, and we've gotten a little bit of it here and there, but we've gotten less than I really wanted there to be. Like even the America arc, I thought was going to be a big ol' like we can't get around this one, and then we kind of did. Like, there is a treaty there, but at the same time, it wasn't as, like, they weren't asking the real big, heavy questions. I feel like after this, there is no way in hell that, like, Senku and Dr. Zeno don't have a long debate about these. I mean, also, yeah, they did kidnap the presidents. Not to mention, like, I think this is also the perfect place to do negotiations, weirdly enough. Because it is the big, like, if either of us, really wants to, we could push the big button and freeze everyone here. I really hope that, like, Dr. Stone is good at balancing, like, let's talk about this seriously, and then let's, goof around a lot. And it leans more towards the let's goof around a lot side. I'm really hoping that we have some serious talk about these Medusas. Also, for the love of God, like, if Stanley gets here, I think the first thing Zeno needs to say is, Stanley, turn off your radio. Please, for the love of God, everyone turn off your radios. I mean, I could see an arc that is just that everyone gets here, they all go, okay, what do we do next? And then from someone's radio, you hear Y-Man just say, entire Earth. Earth turns to stone. We gotta start over in another 3,700 years. It's so enormous too, like, and the way it's laid out makes me look like it's probably on top of one of those like big Mayan pyramids. Like, I guess it's also the question. I assumed looking at it that it was on top of one of those big Mayan pyramids. If it is just like, if that's all just Medusas, that is so much more. Like, even if this is on like, a pyramid or a mountain or something, that's still far too many. But if this entire mountain is Medusas, that is far more insane. Oh yeah, thank you, homie. Legitimately. Might come back, but I gotta at least finish the chapter before I forget that this is not the ending. Ah, there's the title drop. It's so sickening yet beautiful with malice. So it is a double swerve title. It is not just the like, it's gross, but it's beautiful. It is the like, we're going to sandwich it. It is bad. It's a little good, but it's, it is it's full of awe. It is amazing, but it is because, it is amazing because of how vile it is. Yeah, like the segments here look way too uniform to not be on top of something. Like after 3,700 years, like just, sheer winds and, tropical storms and stuff and rain, like, I mean, we are seeing like Medusas, just like scattered about. Like they have been moving. But the fact that so many of them are still in this specific configuration makes me feel like there's got to be a temple here or like a something else. They might still be produced. I mean, with the islands, like Medusas did come from space. So actually, oh my god. This is gonna sound now, there's no way. Well, I'll say it anyways. What if this is the dumping ground for the bad Medusas? Like, what if Y-Man is in space and he's got a factory and he's making Medusas, like there's, being pumped out. And this is where he throws the ones that don't work, or the ones that have like some sort of flaw with them. So it is like piling up more and more, and if there is a real big danger, he could just, throw down a speaker and then yell, freeze the earth again, and they'll all activate. Yeah, like this is the middle of the Amazon rainforest. Like, there's no way you would just be hanging out here for fun. Especially if this is a mountain or something, like if this is a man-made thing, then there's got to be like people around who would have known something about this. Hmm. I I wasn't sure what this was. It looks like coral to me, weirdly enough. But that can't be coral. Like not here. There is water on the ground though, so It does look rocky for sure. Like it does look like it's been petrified. But is that, just petrification over the course of thousands of years, or is it the Medusas themselves? Like we know the Medusas wouldn't do that to plant life. Like we saw that on the islands, but we've never seen this many Medusas all go off at the same time. Like maybe they do bend the rules of what they're supposed to do at absolute close range. Because it does raise the question of like what are like how does it only affect pigeons and humans? Like if it is based on DNA or something, because like I do know wood can just be petrified. Like that is a natural thing that does happen. But I don't think it happens like this specifically. Because it is like a mix. It is like, you have branches here and then you have big jutting stone. And like the stone, like the branches are within the stone. Like that part doesn't look natural to me. That feels odd. Boy, what an insane chapter. Like what an insane thing to just have existed in the world. Yeah, I guess I don't really have anything else to say specifically about it. But yeah, like this changes everything. We cannot continue the series without this being an enormous factor. I mean, they have to just start a civilization here, right? Like, if nothing else, like you can't move all of these. They would have to start a civilization that does not use radios, that is, tasked with protecting this giant-ass mound. Though I guess you would need radios because, like, what if Y-Man says, hey, I'm just going to activate all of these? Like, I also do like that this is the chapter where, we focus a little more on Chrome, and Chrome both comes up with the idea of, automatic army ants spray, and then an automatic, like, unstoning thing. Because I think that is vitally important. Like, if Y-Man can activate this mound, or if anyone can activate this mound, like, if, some unknown faction shows up here and just screams, size of the earth times 2, let's go. Or just size of the earth, right. I forgot how that works. You do just have to say the size of the earth, because it bends. Like, you would want to have someone here to A, protect the mound, and B, if the mound activates, just tell everyone to activate their trusty Chrome brands, no petrify bracelets. Imagine how wild, like, I could see an arc of the series that is, like, Y-Man, like, the characters are building a rocket to get to the moon, and Y-Man is just activating the mound every day. And every day, at a random time, they have to set their bracelets to break them out. Because every day, at some point, they're going to be frozen. It would be like King Crimson, but instead of it being a, like, a universal time stop thing, it would just be a literal all human beings turn to stone situation. You could do so many insane things with this. I mean, you could also do the opposite. Like, if you automate turning yourself into stone and then breaking yourself out, you could do crazy things like, exploring the Mariner's Trench.
You're not even done the chapter yet?
Not even done chapter. Nah, I did get to the final page, but then went back.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a thick boy. This is a thick old chapter.
Listen, don't worry.
Yeah, I did in fact say Marinera's Trench. Oof. She cannot be legal. I mean, she is. We know that. She's like a doctor, but there's no way. I mean, that does raise the other question of how in the hell is she a doctor when she's 19, but still. Yeah, like she's not like world renowned, but she is like pretty renowned. Like Zeno, I believe, immediately knew who she was. Well, I guess they did meet each other actually, because yeah, she went south. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, Chelsea is breaking my brain. But even she could not pull down how good this chapter was, legitimately. I mean, she was also just better in it. Still not, like, additive. But she was, neutral to positive. Not as good as Undead Unluck, but very, very high up there. Like, this was really good at being a big ol', twist. Like, it's very meaty. And I mean, it says a lot, again, about Undead Unluck that I feel about equal. Like, I would say, if I could rank them, if I could make things equal, I would make them equal. But it is insane to think that Chapter 45 of Undead Unluck is equal to 179 of Dr. Stone, with one of the biggest reveals in the series. Okay, so that is Dr. Stone. Let us move on to My Hero Academia, number 296, Hellish Hell. So on the nose. Okay, so I'm assuming this is the epilogue, because yeah, we are cutting just to in the aftermath. So I assume this is the, like, we don't even need to show it. He just skedaddled. Like, enough bad has happened. We don't need to explain specifically how he did the big skedaddle. Aw, President Mike. Every time I see Mike, like, I mean, he lost his chill already pretty early on. He's been in a state of consistently losing more and more chill. I don't know if he'll ever be chill again. Wait, is that 13? 13 has a face? I guess so. Oh yeah, that is just a big ol' stump with no arm there. Yikes. Now, question is, does Wash have a face? Because in the shot, like, we get the big ol' cracked look at 13, but we don't see Wash's face still. Which I feel like that has to be a... Like, Wash just doesn't have a face, right? I mean, I don't know if eyes count as a face. You can have eyes but no face. I would say, you need a visible surface. Because, like, if I'm thinking of, like, Alucard from Hellsing, like, he can, mold his body and have eyes and mouths all over the place, but I wouldn't call those faces. Those are just eyes and mouths. I think you need at least the contour of a face. Because you can also have a face with no discernible features on it. Or, like, a face with no eyes, no mouth, no nose. But you need the roundness. There's no roundness here. There's just an empty space that makes it seem like there could be some roundness there, but you don't know for sure. The Nomu, who will be referred to as near high ends, were commanded to team up and execute distraction and serpent strategies. Okay. So, 7 near high ends and Shigaraki and his people managed to flee without trace. Well, they say his people. I assume, like, there's no way that they all skedaddled together, right? Like, they had to have caught... I mean, yeah, they couldn't all be together, because Toka's not even near there. No, it's fine. I'm just gonna skip out for a sec.
So, the reason why I brought that up was seeing Kalo Cook tweet out, just, joke country, failed state, fuck the right, fuck white supremacists, fuck the police, sorry for the redundancy. Kalo Cook is the fucking best person we have in Jump right now.
Caleb is the one person I'm fairly sure I could put money on, to say he's not a pedophile.
Yeah, I mean, he's very, like, always coming out of the pedophilia stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, this is less of a stream and more of just I'm going to record this anyways, so I may as well turn on the stream. Do not feel like you need to stick around. Also, think of it as if I had started the original stream, which had gone on for about an hour, 1 hour ago, in which case, now would be now. Haha. Gotcha. Yeah, no problem. Please. Just let me know when you're going. It's all's good. Where was I? Also, I should probably say that this was My Hero Academia, right? I'll just re-say it. My Hero Academia, Chapter 296, Hellish Hell. Oh no. I think that's worse. So, they got Gigantomachia, they got Compress, but that means, okay, so they didn't get Toga. Toga's still somewhere out here. Oh, they got Redestro. Jeez. Yeah, so I guess, I mean, we kind of knew this was the case all along, but the Paranormal Liberation Front overall really is just sort of like an attachment. Like, how do I put this? You know, when you get a Kamen Rider figure, and then in order to bulk it, like, in order to transform into a bigger form, they don't have pieces that are form fitted to look exactly like that model, but they just have like really big old chonks that you clip on, and then they're like 5 times as wide as they should be. Like that's kind of how they've treated the paranormal. I should say League of Villains. That is how they have treated them. As just sort of this: we beat you. You're now on our side. We're going to say that we're fighting for the same ends, but ultimately you are just a thing we are using in order to get more bulky. But yeah, this is a real like there are no winners. Like even with something like Stain, for instance, I would say that is a Hero Society won that one, but there were like deep tremors. Whereas like there's no winner here. Everyone's been shaken. Everyone is extremely beaten. In total, 16,929 individuals. Huh. I don't remember the original number of how many supporters the Meta Liberation Army had, but I imagine that's probably like between, the destruction of their city plus this. Like that's got to be a big old chunk, right? Okay, their bases scattered around the country are hit too, and the sympathizers rounded up. So we can assume that like the 132 are probably like a decent chunk. They may have a few more people, but like all the individual bases across Japan are all basically gone. I assume this is not going to be an Orochimaru-esque. We just have bases around for like 5 years, and they keep on popping up, and there's really no end to them. There's just a infinite amount of supports vaguely around the world. Hey, okay, so Uraka and Froppy. Nice Sue. Horikoshi really is good at like kids in extreme peril. Like his designs are really good, just for anime designs in general. They got the cute blob aesthetic, but his kids especially. I think it's because of the slight bump to the eyes and to the mouths. Like, oh, it's so good. My Hero is the only series where a new kid character shows up and I go, yes, I'm happy. I love this trope. This is so overwhelming. Like, I mean, after this arc, like if they want to just say, "Hey, you know what? School's over. Everyone's everyone's going to graduation automatically," I wouldn't be against it. Like they're all getting so much practical training, and like everyone here is competent. It's not a like, I mean, it's a hellscape, but it's a hellscape where they're doing the best they possibly can. Oh, has he just gotten shell shocked? Oh fuck! Oh, that's such a good like. This composition is so good. It is the like it is the moment in a disaster movie where like if you're paying for IMAX, where it cuts from the normal aspect ratio to IMAX in order to like highlight how annihilated everything is. Oh, it's a hellish hell. But yeah, I really like how, he's the only one who's heavily shaded here, and that immediately draws your eyes to him, and you can see that he is being overwhelmed by everything happening. And I do appreciate that the rubble all like I'm sure some architectural nerd's gonna totally call me out on this one later, but like the rubble doesn't look like random rubble. It all makes sense to me visually. Whereas like in Undead Unluck, for instance, like some of the rubble just kind of goes from like when the city gets destroyed, it does go from a like here are some buildings that are interestingly like actually broken apart to just here is general world of rubble. I didn't even think about this. Like, yeah, the kids are probably going to have to join in just because there aren't a lot of living heroes left. But secondarily, I can imagine a lot of heroes just wanting to stop now. Like, more so than just Hero Society crumbling because of the whole Endeavor scandal. I could see it being just a big ol' this was too much. Like, Much like Stain's original complaint of, there are some heroes out there that are just kind of like doing it as a job as opposed to like carrying out an actual sense of like heroic altruism. I think this is a moment that might weed out a lot of people who, want to do this because they want to help people, as opposed, in a less like not going, you know, like this is way more like EMT work or like battlefield medic work, as opposed to, punching robbers or, that kind of thing. Wait a minute. Hmm? Did Midnight just die? Hmm. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh no, I don't need to update NordVPN. But I can't believe that. Like, I'm glad that she gets the highlight because, she is the most notable. Like, of this entire spread, I basically have, so Midnights, there's Crusts, Exless, Native from the Stain incident, actually, right? I'm sure we've seen some of them. I recognize that design, for instance, like this specific mask. But I couldn't, like, name any of the others. Yeah, I'd say it's enough to say you called it. I would have, like, yeah, would not have assumed that she would have died. Well, dang, it's all over, huh? So we're seeing a little bit of the general public, talking about all of this. And yeah, fair enough. Like, if if I were a citizen and I had some sort of like, choice in heroes, like I definitely would not be going for Endeavor after this. This is pretty big. And legitimately, like, even though he has changed, what he did is unbelievably monstrous. Like, his eugenics plan is terrifying. I don't think you should be able to get past that. You'd better have a statement ready about all this tomorrow. Yeah. Like, this is perfect. Like, especially with, like post 2020. Now that, not anyone who has been looking at the news has seen the, like the response to the whole coronavirus thing. In a situation like this, I do think it would be like hilarious to not nail the tone. Or how do I put this? Rather, if Horikoshi didn't nail the tone of this vibe, it would be so immediately obvious. It would be such a big old wow. You really have no idea what reality is like right now, do you, old man? Situation. Whereas like all of this feels perfect. And I also do appreciate that it is like street chatter, like as opposed to just like shots of like Twitter and Facebook and like other apps. Like that is what like it works in its own way. I can understand what it is meant to do in the same way as, like, looking at news stations and stuff gets across the same response of, tons of people are seeing this. But I think it's way more important to be like to show it through human on human direct interaction. It makes it feel a lot more gossipy, I suppose. Oh, these are the kids from the yeah, that arc. And I think that is a strong contrast, like over these two pages. Like it is the general response of we don't know these people, they're really weird. I always knew something was up with them. And then you have the current generation who have seen like, the generation of heroes that are going to be their generation of heroes, and they are so much more emboldened. Okay, cut to Tartarus. I guess we're doing this arc. No, I won't grant them a moment's rest, because it's my turn now, and my turn will never end. Hear me, my tireless Nomu, it's time to free my real body. I legitimately did not think we were going to get this arc. Like, once we got the idea, I mean, consider me a naive fool, but, like, when All For One sacrificed himself for Shigaraki, I did think of it as a genuine, like, he is willing to give up the torch. Like, this is true evil in the sense that he is now willing to extricate himself completely from the situation that he has created and just let the world burn outside, around him. But with the, like, seeing his vestiges, or, seeing his vestige within Shigaraki in this arc made it so incredibly obvious that no, that's not what he's like. Like, he is the kind, like, he is all for one. And that one cannot be Shigaraki. I thought it was Shigaraki at first. And, the series does a good job of hinting you in that direction, but it isn't. Ultimately, All For One only cares about himself. Like, it is the ultimate supervillain move. I gotta stop moving my head. Mina, you did jinx it. She's not genre savvy. I mean, I do love it. And I also appreciate that, like, Horikoshi has a I wouldn't say it's a gift. Rather, he's very good at planning, and I'm really glad that so many of his plans were, very comic booky in the sense that here's the concept. This is something that seems extremely obvious, and it isn't a I'm going to bait you into thinking it's something else, and then I'll swerve back to that. It is more of a like this thing exists in the series. I have faith that the series is going to continue on for a long, long time, so this is going to play out over an absurdly long amount of time. Like he's not as confident as someone like Oda, for instance, but I think that's fine because I don't think My Hero is going to last as long as One Piece. I think this is the perfect amount of like hard pace. Like if My Hero had been canceled at some point, I 100% think Horikoshi would have just like swerved the ending and not had this be All for One. Or like I don't think he would have had All for One breakouts. But because the series is doing well, he can, take the time to do the long game of, All for One keeps himself out of it for a while, then he comes back and he's stronger than ever. Yeah. I could see this definitely being the halfway point. Or yeah. Like if he said at chapter 300, the first half of My Hero is over, I would buy that. At the same time, yeah, you're right. I think half or two-thirds makes sense. It couldn't conclude much sooner because like that'd be such a rushed Tartarus arc. I think Tartarus is going to be long, and I think we're going to have at least two more long arcs after that. Though I mean, with the way Horikoshi's been like designing the arcs now, they are, it's also possible we'll have like 5 arcs between this one and the Tartarus arc. Like he does, do a good job of, focusing on like one thing for one volume instead of having to make everything a prelude or a aftermath of one specific arc. Yeah, fair enough. I guess what I would say is more of a like Tartarus outbreak arc because this is the perfect point. Like so many heroes out of commission, this is the perfect time for All for One, whether it is his vestige or whether it is someone else, or like whether he does it directly, like just like flying in with Shigaraki's body and blasting it open, or whether he like has a different plan. Like I think it is going to be a big ol' all the villains get loose, the world becomes much more like marvelly, for lack of a better word. Like I think we will have a arc of there are so many villains out there, and the kids cannot, just stay in school because also it's dangerous either way. So they have to go out and just, fight villains and patrol the streets. I think that's where Horikoshi's aiming for with this arc. Like that's what I'm hoping for at the very least. My Hero has been making great strides towards just being more comic booky, and that is where I think its strength is. Ah, yeah. Because I think that would also be a really cool way to do mini arcs. Like if we want to do a big ol' like Kurogiri fights President Mike and Eraserhead, we could. Or otherwise, it could just be we're gonna tease them with that, or they're going to be out on the streets and they're going to be more, messed up. Oh right, Chisaki's in Tartarus, and we do know quirks can evolve. So if he has been deciding, like, if he uses his quirk, he'll die. Like it'll just straight up shoot him. But it's possible that he's been like, doing mental training in order to use his ability some other way. In which case, the hand thing would no longer be a problem. Or alternatively, depending on how the triads are set up. No. I'm pretty sure they said that, like, Chisaki had, like, the Hasakai were, like, the last dying breath of the Yakuza. I was about to suggest like, Chisaki is more of a, like, he has resources and he has wisdom, but he can't fight on his own, so he has to either work with the heroes or he has to, like, he runs a smaller gang again. Ah. I think All for One plus Overhaul combined would be way too broken. I think we could actually have a really cool arc like the Hasakai Part 2 arc or saying that makes it sound like it's going to be as long. I think we could have like a mini thing of Overhaul being like priority number one for all getting. Or like All for One has a list of really good quirks that he wants. And once he has like a bunch of cronies once more, he decides to try and get them. There's some good Rappa content in Vigilantes, in the current arc of Vigilantes, I should say. It makes me want him back. He's a good character. But yeah, I don't know what he plans to do with Shigaraki. It could just be I'm putting myself back in, I'm going to combine with my vestige, and, Shigaraki is now going to just be a caged personality while I take over the body. Like, I could see it being he wanted Shigaraki as a protege to eventually just become him. Hmm. I mean, they have Eri. I don't think My Hero would do this, but there's definitely grounds for some sort of super edgy fan fiction where now all the kids at UA have to become the thing they swore to fight, and they start ripping apart Eri in order to make the quirk destroying bullets. But I don't think that's where we're going with the series. Okay, so I think that's it right now. I didn't skip anything, right? I can't believe 13's actually still alive. Right? Is 13 in here? Like with that cracked helmet. I don't think I actually got to say it last time, but I did think that was a big old death flag. Hmm.
By the way, I just want to say,
Yeah.
all I heard yesterday was you say that 13 was a girl.
Oh.
I did hear you say that,
Yeah.
which I just wanted to say,
Yeah.
I can't believe that it continues to be true. Of if there is a theory for My Hero Academia, it will come true.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, you did say there was a translation error in this chapter, right?
I don't know what chapter is this.
This is 296.
Yeah, during the Endeavor page.
Let's see. Where Endeavor? Where Endeavor?
Big Endeavor page.
Where
Maybe
Endeavor?
not this chapter. Then maybe it was like 2 chapters.
Oh no, there it
there's-
is. There it
There's
is.
there's 2 panels.
Okay.
That's not Endeavor saying that, or that's not somebody saying that about Endeavor. I mean,
Okay.
that is just random people talking.
Yeah. Oh. That does change it. I assumed that was everyone mostly talking about either, their situations or Endeavor.
Yeah, apparently it's just people talking about their own situation. Like it's just
Okay.
people saying like, "Hey, we're gonna move. We're gonna."
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Oh, that's weird. But okay, thank you very much.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Ochika panel really good. Like this double page spread is really good. It's not like I haven't seen this before, but it really it legitimately is the fact that this is scooched up a little more than most people would. It's the fact that this isn't a 16 by 9. It is like a dual monitor thing. It is so IMAXy. It gives me the feeling of like this is way too big. And also, like, is it happening this night? Like, is the breakout, getting All for One's body going to happen right now? Because we're getting into One Piece territory of these arcs just keep on happening. Yeah, like, when we got to this, I took it as just, like, this is happening really soon. But it wasn't until right now that it really settled in that he means literally like this is daytime. That night we're doing it. It makes complete and utter sense. It's so this kind of thing. I mean, it is such a genre savvy move. Yeah, the near high ends I think are going to be pretty darn good. The only question I really have is just, like, I'm curious to see how Tartarus is protected. Like, we know they have guns, and we know they have the guns that shoots the people who are imprisoned in there automatically. But is there anything else? Like, I don't know if they would really have a problem with people breaking in most of the time. Because, they are, like, they're super enclosed. I mean, it is like Alcatraz. They would have ample time to prepare for someone coming in if they're not announced. Whereas right now, I could see them being pretty dry. Okay, so that is My Hero Academia. Oh no, I forgot to zoom in. Whoops. But that's fine. Oh, okay, so Undead Unluck, really, really good. Dr. Stone, pretty good. Surprisingly, like, yeah, I remember it really impressing me. This chapter, oh, it's always really tough for me to rank something really, somber, really dour with, something super hype. Like, I think it is natural human instinct in a way to want to rank, sad things lower. Plus, like, My Hero is so well composed. Like, this feels so cinematic, so instantly classic. Whereas Dr. Stone has a lot of, especially right now, a lot of chapters just sort of not self-encapsulated, but it is this like, hey guys, we're on the run. We've been on the run for, 2 months now. Here's this new facet of how we're on the run. Like, it's all good, or, some of it's good, some of it's bad. It's hit or miss, and it's all very, like, like monster of the wiki, or, problem of the wiki. Whereas this is this enormous long epic. Yeah, I think I have to say that this is better. Not as good as Undead Unluck, but it's right there. Also, two very different depictions of, destroyed cities. Like, this is... Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh, I did? Whoops. 295 instead of 296. Thank you very much. These are really important in order to, like, make my WSJ searchable, because they're kind of, terrible. All right. Boop. Okay, I think that's good. I think that is good. With that, let us move on to Food Wars. Shokugeki no Sanji. 2. Sanji Banquet Assistants. Yeah, this is a double cursed problem of when I started the stream before, it was a, like, I said I was going to do it on Monday, so I gotta do it on Monday. And I kind of forgot to do the pre-recorded. I even had a little bit where I was sitting down going like, oh man, I never get to relax before the stream. Why is that? Oh, right, because I was supposed to be doing something at this time. Oh no, are they all just wrong? I may have just, like, copied them from a previous week and then screwed them up. You know what? Let me do a quick fix. I know I'll put down a separate timestamp for after I fixed these bookmarks real quick, or these numbers, because I know if I don't do it right now, I'm not going to remember to properly fix it afterwards. I've been very flustered as of late. Yeah, because Sanji and Promised Neverland were the only ones that were accurate. So I guess I must have just copied them over and then completely mind blanked. Sorry about that. Oh no, I got rid of Sanji. So what could this be? I've been dancing around it because I've been bad at doing my job. But when was Sanji doing? I mean, it depends on what you mean by banquets. I don't remember a specific thing in One Piece where it's like, this banquet is very important, and Sanji has to help with it in that arc. If we just mean like a big old time where they have to eat, or like a party or something, that is every arc. We'll see if this gets across the same emotion as Food Wars. Because the first one, I'd say, not great. That was what I thought, like, that felt like a real, this is a Shokugeki no Sanji. Like, this is really coasting on the concept of, this is an idea that people would like. And you can really only do that once. This has to be better. If this is not better, it's gonna suck. Because the first one only didn't suck because it was new. Okay, that's cute. Also, when do you guys think we'll eventually get a chapter done by, someone who isn't Oda of One Piece, whether it is like a redraw or if it is a, like, a something like this where they're like inserting something into the past? When do you think we'll get one of those post time skip? Because I feel like pre-time skip is also the juicy area of, here's all the big classic moments. Here's, the stuff that everyone will recognize. If I send this to my mom, Boichi's mom, then even she will know, like, oh yeah, that's Mihawk.
It's the curse of, do I want to do sexy, slim, young Zoro, or do I want to do big, bara titty Zoro?
Okay. Mysterious character, of course. I mean, this is presumably non-canon. They could just pick up this guy and have him be the musician for the Straw Hats.
You're saying this is not canon?
We don't have anything to prove whether it's not canon or not. Whether it is or not. Oh, right. This was back in the Nami is the medic era. Oh boy, this design. Is that just a fish? Okay. So do they not have the legendary fish? Do they have to go catch legendary fish and then bring it back? Because I can definitely see this being a big old gag of, the legendary fish is actually a sea king. And then Luffy, punches it in the face. So I assume this is the banquets. This might feel really weird if it's a, hey, I'm, My daughter is getting married. I'm a good chef. But oh no, Sanji made much better food for my daughter's wedding and now it's saved because I'm a bad cook. Okay, why doesn't he want to take them back? I mean, is this just a I'm not a good enough chef situation? Ah, are those draconic super fillet salmon? Boy, those are some wanky salmon. They're really long. They're like eels. They're also just in a barrel like eels. Like, I mean, in the way that if you have like a barrel of eels, they're all like, cylindrical, like they wrap around. Wait, are they named because when you fillet them, they're super fillet? Or what? I mean, I guess maybe that's the culinary name for them. Like, people call them dragon salmon because they look like dragons. Oh boy, is this gonna have Wano spoilers? Is Kaido a draconic super fillet salmon? I've already heard the theory of he's a koi, and that ties into the whole, koi swims up a waterfall, becomes dragon myth. But what if Oda does the big swerve of no, he is the fish fruits model draconic super fillet salmon introduced in chapter 2 of Shokugeki no Sanji. I hope the fillets look really cool. Like, I've never read Toriko, and I probably won't on the channel at the very least. Probably not in real life either. But like, if there's one thing I really like about, something I've wanted to read Toriko for, it has been like, the fantasy food, not, or like specifically the fantasy animals, like the fantasy ecology, which I hear the series really gets into. I think that stuff's really dope. I would feel annoyed, but I don't think I would feel betrayed. Like, Oda does this kind of thing. Like, in the volumes, he will just say, I know in the volume before Dragon is first seen, or, is officially, like, named. Oda did say in the previous volumes SBS, hey guys, Luffy's father shows up next volume. And then we have things like that noodle commercial where, Jinbei's a part of the crew and Zoro has Enma, and that was before Zoro got Enma. Like, I could see it happening. I could see Oda having a big old book that says, Kaido's fruit is the draconic super fillet salmon, which turns into a real dragon when it goes up a waterfall, in a reference to the koi thing. And then after, at chapter 1000, he realized, oh no, I forgot to introduce those into the world. I'm gonna give it like, an 10% chance of actually happening, but it's still 10%. I feel like it might vaguely happen. Oh, right, Denjiro. So yeah, it could happen. That is really cool though, because this means we can have a whole thing where, Sanji screws up a bunch of them because he can't really do it. Or, he has to learn the secret technique or something like that. And it also, like, it shows his devotion. This is something that really does hit me a lot, because I do cook quite a bit. And one of my big moves will be, like, if I'm making something for donuts, I will make 2 of them. So if one of them gets destroyed, or if I screw up one of them is edible, and the destroyed one I can then salvage for myself. I am very into the idea of, like, plunking down extra because you're going to mess up the first time. It shows actual care. No measly East Blue cook ever could. I mean, that feels weird because we know Sanji's a North Blue cook, which means that if he is the only one who can fillet these super fillet salmon, that statement would still hold true of no East Blue cook ever could. I mean, I do get that, obviously, that is also, an insult against the Bradier. I get the point of it. Just, also that's there. I think Sukuda-sensei can do Sanji, and when they do a, like, original One Piece character, like they did in the previous one as well, I think those designs are good, but any of the other Straw Hats, even Nami, just feel weird for some reason. And yeah, you're fair. You're right. Like, I live in Canada. If I went to India and I trained for 20 years as a chef, and then I came back, it would be really annoying if people said, you're making Indian cuisine, but you are still, like, a Canadian chef. I would say, no, I'm just an Indian chef at that point. Okay, so fins off, scales off. What is that? Oh, gills. I've never been able to take out gills using a knife. That seems, next level. I say that as if all of this is not next level. Okay. So it exploded, but it does seem like it was a wet explosion. Like, it's not they're full of, like, natural gas situation. Well, I mean, I guess that might just be the wetness of, the fish's flesh as it explodes. Huh. So you need a perfectly straight singular cuts. Oh, I mean, the three characters we are seeing in this chapter are Zoro, Sanji, Nami. So I think this is pretty obvious, right? I swear to God, if we see a two-sword style cut in the salmon in the same place that Kaido has his cut, I'm going to lose my mind. My fear that Oda really did reveal Kaido's devil fruit and establish it in a non-canon chapter of Food Wars Shokugeki no Sanji is growing more and more by the moment. I'm actually, oh no, I don't know what that'll do with the ranking. I don't know. It might go to a different plane of existence. Huh. I mean, it's also just a really long fish. Like, this knife I don't think is as long as the fish itself. So if it is a, like, you have to cut, you have to slice into the entire salmon, or like the entire stomach all at once, as well as it being a perfectly straight singular cuts, then it might just be he needs to use Zoro's sword. Oh, but this is great. I love this shot of Sanji thinking. Like, we rarely get to see serious Sanji. Like, not angry Sanji, just serious Sanji. Yeah. And this is, like, this is a trial only he can possibly overcome. I didn't even think about that. I mean, maybe. It's probably okay to smoke near the fish. It's probably okay. Oh, that really... Like, yeah, I get that fear. And Zoro grips the sword, so it's gotta happen, right? When a man says he's gotta cut something, he's not gonna back down. So, I mean, to be fair, this is Sanji's situation. Like, this is Sanji's battle. So it might not be Zoro doing it. He might just say, hey, do you want to do this? Or they could both hold it with, like, hand in hand. That'd be really cool. I mean, to be fair, I am saying this as if it's hygienic to fillet a fish using a sword that Zoro probably uses to kill people. I mean, I guess we don't know. We know he cuts things with them, and it's implied that he cuts people with them.
He does cut people with them. He, of course, only uses the back of his blade for weak people.
So if he's just, like, hitting them with force and the blood is coming out, the blood might not be getting on his swords. Like, they might still be hygienic.
Zora's licked his swords clean once or twice.
But yeah, you're right. We have seen Zoro, like, sharpen and clean his sword, so it should be okay. It's the classic tsundere move of, I'm not really doing anything here. I'm just gonna leave my sword here. This here is a big boy sword. I do like this, though. I do love it as a challenge. It also does allow him to later dunk on Sanji, because now he can say, obviously, you have never used my sword. I just said the only person I know who would, I guess I am saying that we're going to end this with the gag of Zoro refuses to admit that Sanji has ever used a sword, because Sanji is too much of a playboy sucker to pick up the sword and use it.
This author really said, hey, can I come back for a second Shokugeki no Sanji chapter? And by that, I mean a Zoro Sanji dojin.
Aw, yeah. Alright, he's serious. And also now he's finally gonna stop contaminating the fish with smoke. How is he gonna hold this? Like, it can't be, any, like, traditional samurai poses, right? He's gotta hold it like a chef. So, but a sword is long. And I can only imagine him, like, aiming it at the screen. What is this pose gonna be? You have one shot to make it iconic, so,
Now that looks like a Food Wars panel.
Aw, yeah. Coming right from the crotch.
It's so gay.
Aw, yeah. God. Oh boy. Subaru probably did use a sword at some point. Like, the final arc was the big ol', we're just gonna cook with things that aren't meant for cooking. I'm just gonna cook with a grenade. So, like, that time may have had a sword, but I don't think so. Like, we had the guy with the poison fingers who would, like, put spice into food with the poison fingers. Oh, sushi guy. I was also thinking of that famous shot where Eren is like cutting off the turtle's head, but that was also just a knife. Hmm. Okay, come on. 2-page spread of this fish being cut. 2-page spread, 2-page spread, 2-page spread. Ah, oh, you did it. Okay, dope. Okay, so this is just a thing that people on his island do. You know, it looks better to me in a crowd. I guess also because it is all like different types of fish. It's a good vibe. I like it. And of course, the classic non-canon. Oh, the classic non-canon. All right, Straw Hats. You can never let anyone know about this. Thank you. I'll cherish you in my heart forever, but no one actually saw you, so it doesn't count. Hmm. Aww. And I am glad that it is still like it isn't a we're gonna dunk on you because you couldn't fillet the salmon move. It is a like you are really cool. You did all of this to get the salmon to your to your daughter, and it is like the fact that you did all of that means that I am just a bit player here. I'm not gonna upstage you. That is nice. Oh, and they also get dragon salmon. Oh man, I see the mangaka did not want to draw Usopp or Luffy's eyes.
That Usopp is bad. Yikes.
This feels like a Dojin panel. Oh right, we still have to do a the classic they eat the food, they get naked, then they put on costumes. What would the costume be for this? Like the only visual thing we have seen has been the people of their islands where they're wearing headpieces. So maybe it's going to be the dragon salmon, but they're all wearing it on their heads as like, Okay, so we've just got the coming panels. Of course, we only see Nami's coming panel. Rumors say that somewhere on the Grand Line is Mermaid's Paradise, and I bet it's something like this. Okay, so we have Nami, we have the guy's daughter. I guess that's it. Or are we gonna just throw in some random ladies? I mean, maybe we'll get the whole procession here. Actually, I don't know if the mangaka has the balls to draw any of the Straw Hats coming and also being a mermaid. Nope, absolute cowardice. So beautiful, no art can do it justice. The classic manga the mangaka line from where you draw something, you're like, this doesn't look good, but I still gotta print it. So you know what? I mean, this doesn't look bad though. This is just a really strange line for this one. Like it looks fine.
It does look fine. This Nami is very unsexual for having her huge heaving breasts out.
Yeah. The shot also, like, we're seeing Nami through this mangaka style as opposed to the Oda, I know exactly how to draw Nami in the same way that Fukumoto knows how to draw any character. But it's that layer, and then it's the layer of also she's doing cosplay as a mermaid.
That Zoro on the left is so much more sexual than that Nami on the right. There's just so much more detail put into it.
Oh yeah, he's got detail, he's got energy. He's got the big old Monch face. I really like this page of Zoro eating. It's really good.
This is just extremely strong contrast.
This is a real, here's one for the guy, here's one for the straight guys, here's one for the straight girls.
This is how I imagine you doing a series.
Yeah. The dad is there. But okay. Also, I am glad that they established that, like, even though they are very rare and expensive, he also did buy a literal, like, barrel of them. Like, there were so many. So even after Sanji destroying so many of them and also, like, the Straw Hats taking some of them, it's not like he's leaving the wedding high and dry. It's damn good, ain't it? Sanji's catchphrase? Okay, moving on. Oh, we got just enough page for a gag. So what is this gag going to be? I mean, is it going to be Nami puking? That's the only setup we really have. Ah, right. Why would I assume we're going to end with Nami? All right. Boy, this chapter really, like, the fact that we had one panel with Luffy and Usopp really hammered home the we're not going to have any more of them in any other part of this chapter. If I were if I didn't read One Piece and I read this chapter, I would have assumed that Luffy and Usopp were just like nameless crew people.
Yeah.
They don't feel like characters. Oh, we did end with Nami, you're right. Actually, is there anything on this one? I don't think so. It feels like it's just a shot of like maybe a marine base, and then
I think
some
that says Marineford, but I can't tell.
maybe yeah, marine.
Marineford opens. I don't know why they would. That feels like a real like I'm gonna do a prequel thing. This is around when Marineford opened.
This shot really weirds me out because it's so smoky. Like this looks kind of like a marine uniform vaguely,
Yeah.
but this is like a turban.
I think that's definitely a marine base as well down there.
Yeah, but like, were they looking at someone? Is this Ace? Who else makes smoke apart from Smoker? I mean,
it could just be fire.
it could be fire. It could be mist. It could be ghosts. Like this could be anything. If the reveal of Vegapunk is, a guy wearing a turban, and the first time we see it, he is like standing in a corner, and they just redo this entire thing, I'd be into it. Now we do have to wait because we didn't get the shot I thought we were going to get. We did not get the when he fillets the salmon. Which, to be fair, I don't know how you would do this with a fillet. I really, genuinely thought we were going to get the X from Kaido. I thought that was going to be the secret of you have to let out the air like this. And then that would lead into the reveal that this is Kaido's Devil Fruit. But if we didn't do it in this chapter, then I don't think Oda's gonna do it. I don't think Oda has that level of insanity.
God, that Usopp is so bad.
I do understand that it is actually easier to draw like the lower half of a head as opposed to the whole head. So it's not like it's meaningless to cover up his eyes and then, Luffy's eyes in the one panel where we get him. But it feels so exclusionary. It feels like such a I don't want to draw these weirdos. They don't get to be in this.
Sanji, hold Zoro's sword. Zoro, that's lewd.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I love it. It's
And-
in the 10th chapter.
I don't like the visual of Zoro having to scrub himself down with salt after they do it, though. All right, so that is Shokugeki no Sanji Chapter 2. I mean, where does this go? Like, this was fine, but it wasn't, like, fantastic.
Excuse me?
I'll put it below Dr. Stone.
How dare you?
But still, it was a fun one, especially for, like, I imagine, this issue is going to feel really fun to read in a few years, where you're like, oh yeah, Chapter 1000 of One Piece, let's read it. And then right after you get, Sanji.
I appreciate that we got a gay Dojin in Shonen Jump along with Chapter 1000.
Oh, right, Dr. Stone, whoops. Let's move that to 180. Okay, I think everything else is good. But then again, I messed it up the first and the second time, so if you see any problems, do let me know. That is Shokugeki no Sanji. Let us move on to... Boy, this is all such a weird reading order. Let's go to The Promised Neverland, chapter 181.4. The Promised Neverland, special pilot chapter. We were born. We were born. Is this the... Like, it would be weird to do a Boruto for The Promised Neverland, because, like, there's so much tied up in the concept of motherhood in The Promised Neverland. Like, it would feel really weird to have, like, Emma have a kid who then goes off on their own adventures. But what if this is we're going to introduce Emma's, birth sister, Bema, and this is the setup for her spinoff. All right, see ya, homie. Hope you have a good time. This will be on YouTube, so, catch it then. Catch the adventures of Bema later. Oh no, it's just the two of us. But little do you know, Pep, you're not locked in here with me. I'm locked in here with you. I think. No, wait a minute. I forgot how that went. It's supposed to be... Oh no. Sorry. Whoops. Oh no. I mean, it's just us. No one else is gonna pop in, so I'll just let it hang. I'm not taking it back. It's like a meteor shower. Life just disappears every day. Okay, huh. So, this looks like human worlds. But is this is this just human on human violence? Because they look like gunshots for sure. Someone started a civil war a long time ago. It's been going on for decades now. We kill each other for stupid reasons. Violence and criminals rule the city. Could you believe that such a place exists on Earth? This feels, hmm. I'm really curious now as to whether this was labeled as a Promised Neverland chapter in the Japanese. Like, was that logo there? Because this feels more like just a straight up one shot. I mean, like, to be fair, we've seen like nothing of the human worlds. So this could just be like a flashback in the human world. This could be a like, hey, we focused a lot on how bad the demon world was, so here's a quick one just showing, things are bad everywhere. But ah, I don't know if I should expect it to tie into the Promised Neverland or not. So she saved him, I assume. Got some sort of weird dealing going on here with a priest. Okay. Oh man, it feels so bizarre seeing so many humans in Posca's art style, or specifically so many humans who are not kids. Like even near the end of the series, seeing the moms was really wild to me. Because that was a big old like I've never seen this many tall people in the same shot before in the Promised Neverland. Whereas like at the very least they were moms. Like there was a unifying like you know what these designs are like situation. Whereas this is just a bunch of punks. Oh boy. Okay, so I assume this was like he passed out. This I think is just a like a visual shot of things happening. So like actually, how would that work? Because this is, I assume, a shot prior to her walking over here and seeing him on the grounds. Ah, it's the patented Emma smile. Even, like, I was joking about Bema. I don't really think she's going to be Emma's sister. But that's a real, like, it's so powerful. The resemblance is so close. I mean, he doesn't look bad in that, honestly. A little small, but it's alright. Oh, actually, I wonder if this shot was supposed to be, uh, I think I thought that person looked more gangstery. They look more like just a random person. But maybe this is a like she took him to the church. Not sure what this shot would imply. Probably maybe just someone passing, or maybe it's someone from his memories. And then this would be like someone coming to the church to say, "Have you found a boy like this?" And the priest lied about it. We're celebrating today. Rita found a foster home. So whether this ties into the plot or the world or anything, immediate parallel. Which means immediately I don't trust this priest. It sounds a little mean-spirited, but it is true. In the world of the Promised Neverland, I don't think I would ever be able to trust a person being adopted. Like I would not. It's not possible. Not in this setting. I guess we also don't really know what time this is. Like at the time of the Promised Neverland, it did seem like it was like the borders have been destroyed. It was world peace essentially. Like they're all one big nation, but they just have. And yeah, fair points. Not to act as if it is a crazy new fictional concept to be upset about, priests raising children. That is, yeah, fair. She tries to become someone who is wanted. All the children here are like that. I mean, it could also just be like, this is how we set up that she is similar to Emma, and therefore we can create a parallel there, but like, boy, I'm just arrested by this shot of this guy with a big hole, presumably blown into him with his blood spatter all across that is insane. I think it really helps that, again, with the Promised Neverland, like, the series is pretty bloodless. Like, more or less. Very intentionally so. Like, the idea of corpses without blood is scary. It is part of the, kids' food dynamic. But it also means that seeing this blood in this style feels so surreal. Air raids by the government, guerrilla terrorist attacks. Even if we study your work, we don't gain anything. Life is precious, that's a lie. Right. I mean, it is the literal, the streets are crazy. It is in this world, how do you, like, how do you not feel like life has to be devalued at some point? If it was so precious, why would people be giving it up like this? This is your new younger sister, Margot. Oh, I assume this is actually the girl that we saw in, those flashes. I wonder if this is like a child slavery ring. I know, again, that's kind of crazy to jump to. But, like, the thing, her big trait is that, like, she tries to become someone who is wanted. So it would make sense if this was the priest trains kids to just be, very attentive and very willing to help people. And as a result, they can be, under the table, like not slaves necessarily, but just, like they work for the family instead of being a part of the family. Ah, I'll do anything to help, anything so that Margot can get better. Oh boy. I mean, this shot of Rita on the bed is terrifying. I can feel the whiplash already. I know it's going. I don't know in what way it's going to be. Whether it is a I'll do anything to help, I'll be a slave, or whether it is a like I'm going to give up my organs, or there's definitely God, this is why I hate why I love and hate horror movies. I hate the part where I know something bad's going to happen, but I can't comprehend what exactly it's going to be. So I can't brace myself. Like, even gore is fine if I know it's a gory movie and I'm going to see some gore. But if it is it could be any number of scares, it's terrifying to me. Ah, I obtained an organ at a good time. So that's our parallel. It is a meat farm, or, it's a farm in a sense. I doubt this is actually a thing that the priest does regularly, though. I think this is meant to be this is an extraordinary situation, and I'm not saying the priest is good. I'm saying I don't think this is like an actual meat farm. I think it is just a parallel. I mean, to be fair, he didn't say whether this is this isn't necessarily a Rita's going to die situation, but either way, it is a literal I'm buying this girl as meat. Like, even if they do end up adopting her, like, even if she is, part of the family and they don't, just kill her for the transplants, it's still fucked. Like, it's still inherent. We are not buying you because we love you. Or, we're not adopting you because we love you. We are buying you because we need part of you. Also, it's so simple, but the phrase, she was born to be loved, is really hard. That, to me, immediately creates the contrast of, Rita is not necessarily born to be loved. Whereas he's doing all of this for his daughter because his daughter was born to be loved. It's the reverse of, I guess not the reverse, but it is very similar to Mom, near Emma as Emma's looking at the drawings. It is I know that you know, but instead of trying to hide it at all, I'm just going to come right out. I know you heard it. You know what? It's fine. Ah, you said you'd do anything. You're a good person. Jesus would have done the same. Returning to our heavenly father, heavenly father, death is something to be happy about. I mean, we also focused so much in the Promised Neverland on not necessarily the specifics of religion in that world, but in the general vibe of it. And so it does ring really true that if you're going to show systematic problems in this world, it would also make sense to do it through the church. Doing it via the government, I think, would be too impersonal. So is this boy going to save her? I kind of forgot about him. And I mean, it does say something about her that in this world where she has every reason to be, completely disenfranchised, to not care about anything because of being disenfranchised. With all of that, she is human. She hasn't let go. She still is scared of dying in a world where everyone else seems to treat death as if it is nothing. He gets a flash of someone. Was this at the big crowd shots? Yeah, I mean, it is legitimately the difference between a superhero movie where at the end the hero flies into into space or into the sun, something where they're gonna die and everyone's screaming no, versus one where everyone's screaming yes. It inherently feels bad, right? Even if you know for a fact everyone should logically know this is the right thing to do and this is what he wants to do, you still want that pullback. Because people caring about you should override the logical processes that should be there. I feel like he's going to save her, but I really hope this doesn't tie into the the leader of the traitors thing. I'm hoping it's not a the dad is wrong because he's also related to the rebellion or something. I hope it's not that cleanly put together. I hope it is him just showing that he cares more about this girl and about saving her life than he does about killing this other guy. They paid him the fat stacks. See, if there's one thing because we didn't have money, we never got a shot of Isabella doing this. This is a panel that's really hard to recover from. Yes, that foolish girl. She was just a tool to make money from the beginning. Boy, he really, I mean, again, didn't like him, don't like priests. Same time, he really did the big old breakdown here. No subtlety. Yeah, this is way more Krona. Also, I guess like, did he adopt her because? I mean, I guess it was just. How would I put this? We can't really infer what specifically he was planning to do with her, but I think we can just generally infer, like, if this hadn't have happened, he would have, given her to someone else at some point. Like, she would have been physically trafficked at some point. Okay, so he is running, like, with the money. I wasn't sure what was happening there for a moment. Also, I can't believe we just got, like, again, this is a one shot, I assume. But that's such a hard cut from grabs the money, starts running, it appears suddenly at the mansion, starts attacking the rich guy. Ooh, money! Ah, there's no meaning in the fact that we were born, but there is meaning in living. You can decide that for yourself. Like, again, very in line with the themes of the series. Also, very sledgehammery. Like, nothing in this chapter is bad. There's nothing that I would say is like, oh, you shouldn't do this. But man, it's so blatant. I'm completely happy with, blatantly saying something that is good. But still, man, it is so hard. I think it's because the Promised Neverland was designed with this, like inherently it is this weird thing that you have to pick apart. You do have to twist your brain a little bit before you can get to things like, hey, don't kill demons. Demons have rights. Whereas this is so straightforward. Also, let's go home to where your family is. I don't know if I would do that. The priest was just willing to sell her off. Now, is she just gonna die? Daddy, so there's meaning to living, and each of us get to decide. Does that apply to me too? Hmm? Are we implying that she wrote The Promised Neverland? Is this in fact Kaiju Shirai's backstory? Also, yeah. I mean, maybe this panel's supposed to imply that the priest is just leaving. Like, alright, that's it, I'm not going back. What does this mean in context? Because I assume this has to be a movie, right? That has to be it. The tie-in has to be this little girl ended up writing The Promised Neverland in universe as a like as a biography of the kids who survived Gracefield and got out, or like the kids who survived in general. Man, weird Promised Neverland chapter. As a one shot, I like it well enough, but even then, it doesn't really tie together. There is nothing inherently bad about it. It is just kind of bland. It feels very much like if someone gave me this and said, this is what they submitted before The Promised Neverland, that would make sense. Actually, they did say special pilot chapter, but this definitely also, like, this cannot be a what am I thinking of? A Burn the Witch. Like, I don't think this is a secret, hey guys, we want to do a different story, because there aren't really any hooks here. Like, you have the girl who wants to write a story, but that's really it. Like, these characters are also kind of done. Like, this is perfect as a self-encapsulated thing. Is this the mangaka of Me and Roboco? That is the only other thing I can think of, is either this girl ends up writing The Promised Neverland, or this girl writes the Promised Neverland parody. That's really all I got. Yeah, I'm not gonna try and pull more out of this. It's fine as is. I gotta put it below Shokugeki no Sanji. Shokugeki no Sanji was good as, like, fan fiction, whereas this is just bland. This, like, if I read this and then someone said, hey, should these people get to run and jump, I would say, nah. Like, not based on this chapter. By the way, Pep, I do want to ask, do you have any interest in staying around for Black Clover, Our Blood Oath, and Sakamoto Days? Because I might just scooch those up and then do author comments overall. I mean, I guess I could just keep the webcam on either way, but I'm just curious. If you want to leave because you don't care about Black Clover or anything, completely fine also. Okay. In that case, at the very least, I'll do Me and Roboco and then author comments. And then, yeah. So, with no dilly-dallying, let's jump right into Me and Roboco, Chapter 24. Oh, whoops. Me and Roboco, Chapter 24. Me and Roberto, Chapter 24. Okay, I see. Ruri's getting dating advice. Terrifying. Extremely terrifying. They're like knees. I treat mine by alternating between scorching sand and ice water, then moisturizing with Nivea. Yeah, yo. Oh, sorry. It's a call from my editor at Shueisha. Oh, is she offering to smash Bondo's knees? Or actually, maybe she's just saying, like, instead of using Scorching Sand, I've been thinking about using this bat with nails in it. Bondo, Master, I received an honorable. Whoa, 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 really? I received an honorable mention for the Tezuka Award. That's dope. Ah. Also, extremely rare. Roboco and Bondo both doing a, from the side reaction. Like, usually it's one of them doing something and the other one doing the reaction. Boy, this panel is jam-packed with information. So I guess this is just a, hey, do you want to try and win the Tezuka Award? You should go try and get the Tezuka Award chapter. Handsome Bondo looks so much worse than normal Bondo. It is scary. Like, it's actually really weird to look at. He's so wholesome. I really, we've been getting them an okay amount, and I really hope this continues. Like, I really like seeing Bondo as the, side character. Or, as the person who is not the main character, someone else is the main character, and he gets to just kind of, play off of them. It is the classic, people not liking the main character in certain works just because they have to be the main character for a lot of it, and so they don't get to be the one where they have one character trait that goes out of hand and gets really crazy. I decided to hold off this year. So she submitted Chainsaw Man. I was really hoping it was going to be uncut or whatever it was. Is this just a photo of the Imperial Hotel that's been mangafied? Like, the texture of the rock here has a real strong, this is just a picture energy. Undone uncuts. Oh, if they're at the banquet, they might see, some of the other mangaka. Like, we already had the, hey, here's what this person looks like gag, but I'm fine with doing it again. Man, Gotcha Girl is so cool. And that is a cute outfit. Like, I'm glad that this is cute without being age inappropriate. That is also something that, weirdly enough, me and Roboco has done a good job of. Like, designs that just look cute but never look like too lolly or too Shota. It's a weird thing to call out, but in Jump, especially right now, I feel like I want to say it. Is the Tezuka Award really that big of a deal? Oh boy, I recognize some of these silhouettes. Oh, the prize money is one thing, but the manga artists who judge the award are the main attraction. Wait, is that... Oh, that's supposed to be Psyche. I was saying that as a joke. Like, all right, Shuichi Haso as a judge for the Tezuka Award, that'd be silly. But he did have a whole thing in one of the volumes where he said specifically he was a judge for the Tezuka Award. It feels weird that he's being shouted out as it would be a really big deal if he read your work, but honestly, I guess that is true. Wait, you're right, that is Lycopene. How did Lycopene get here? Now that is the big ol' Shuichi Aso is a big name, as much as as much as everyone likes to dunk on him. The guy who made Lycopene is, I believe, just a YouTuber, right?
Big YouTuber, though, I believe.
Right.
Is Lycopene still running?
I don't know. No one talks about it.
I don't know.
It might still be running in, Jump Plus. Oh, they have Luffy meats! Look, Roboco, that guy's face is a left hand, and it's coming out of a right hand. I'm glad we got a tiny little sliver of him. As opposed to, I think the previous chapter was just, the previous big manga chapter was a lot of, hey, that guy has a fish for a head, that must be Oda. But, we didn't see the fish head. Apparently, Horikoshi-sensei has the monstrous drawing quirk. Oh boy! We've got text for it as well. Text that someone actually translated. Oh, it's laid out like the UA files. Quirk, monstrous drawing. He's so good at drawing. Too good. How? There's gotta be a secret. That's the only possible explanation. His stories are great too. How? There's gotta be a secret. That's the only possible explanation. Tell me what it is, please. Horikoshi's hand. A hand? Horikoshi's hand. A hand? No label for the head. I heard something about Story Demon and ultra charming character quirks too. And apparently he started to manifest Black Whip recently too. I mean, I guess realistically, of the quirks that Luffy has, Black Whip's the only one I could think of where it would make sense coming out of Horikoshi. Because it is a inherent, you use your hands, you shoot the web, the Dark Whip web, and then you pull with it. Whereas, if Horikoshi, shot it out of here, then he could use his, the head hands to grab it, or he could, spin around and use the other hand. Both hands could work.
You did say Luffy's quirks.
Oh, I said Luffy?
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant Green Luffy.
what is Luffy besides just Black Whip?
Luffy just Black Whip. Luffy just a small part of Spider-Man. I'm not going to acknowledge this one with saying the bubbles. Now, this is the rule of threes, so I guess we're going to get a third one, but this is kind of a lazy joke. This one was a really strong one, though. Oh, man, people who love Slam Dunk are definitely loving this one, right? Oh, the lights went out. Well, I did just happen to hear that this happens when Toriyama-sensei grants someone's wish. That is how Toriyama draws himself. See, now this is a classic bad gag of... The setup is Roboco heard that, if Toriyama grants a wish, then the lights go out, which is a good joke by itself. But now it turns out that what she heard was just, oh, did you know that Toriyama was trying to pour someone some soy sauce? And that's why the lights just went out. Oh boy, I forgot about this guy. Second year. He said it right in his introduction. Yeah, I did a little too much, plagiarism. I think this was right. I think it would be much better to make the joke here plagiarism as opposed to pedophilia. That would be too hard. That's the kind of thing that I think would be funny in a Twitter comment or something, but that might be a bit too much for a children's gag comedy. Normally, I'd be toiling away in the underground facility beneath the Shueisha offices, but since it's such a big day for one of my artists, I managed to break out. So they didn't let him out for this. He just broke out because he was happy for Hurry. They branded that on him! I'm now called Combined Issue, you see? That's a horrible joke. That's not a good joke. He also introduced himself as second year in order to then say, hey, I'm now called Combined Issue. What? How does that work?
We didn't actually talk about it in the Chapter 1000 discussion.
Yeah?
In the Chapter 1000 One Piece reaction thing. But it did, come out in the double issue 5/6 Gumu.
Ah, Gumu. Oh my god, that's genius.
Chapter 1000 did come out in the Gumu issue.
That is so good. Oh my god. Is he a Gumu human now? Not a Gumu human, but just a Gumu human. Fair, Pap. If this is Shueisha's punishment for plagiarism, then yeah, no wonder Ghost Rider ended. I mean, was he also Roboco's editor, actually? Because, to be fair, Roboco keeps on giving him things like Chainsaw Man and Undone Uncuts. So, she might be the reason why he was chained underground. Do you know if Oda Sensei's going to be here today? This would be a pretty baller one if Oda just shows up in this issue. Right. It was just his terrible taste. And also, I think at the end of that issue, or at the end of that chapter, he did imply he was just going to publish Roboco's manga without crediting her, right? When I was even younger, the first manga I ever read was One Piece, and I loved it so much that I lost myself in the story. It made me realize how great manga could be. One Piece is the reason I started drawing manga. So I really wanted to meet Oda-sensei and tell him what his series means to me. That's why I set my sights on the Tezuka Award. That's so genuinely just wholesome. In an ordinary year, for the rookies receiving awards, Oda-sensei would overcome any amount of crunch to attend the party. But he hasn't slept at all since starting serialization, so at this point he's apparently insanely tired. It's been 23 years! Is this a true story? Is Oda coming from the roof? It's actually... Also, it feels weird that it's just these four, none of whom are that important, who are going to the roof to check this out. Boy, that is one hell of a jet. It must cost so much money to fly this thing. It is the opposite of aerodynamic. Oh, I didn't even notice the Straw Hat Jolly Rogers on the wings. I was too taken by the Thousand Sunny's head. He actually came. He's so under the gun, but he still got in his jet and came. In the manga industry, we call this the Gun Jet Oda-sensei. Does Luffy punch Oda situation? There's no other way to interpret this. What? I guess it is supposed to be him headbutting the ship. Or the jets.
Well, no, he's doing the jet. That's the stance that he does. He does this.
Okay, it is that.
He only did it with Lucci. Normally, it's supposed to be like Gatling, like him doing this,
Right.
like under punches for some reason.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's under punches.
Ah.
It's like he's doing an uppercut into somebody's abdomen.
Right. Okay. Ah, I see. He's conquerors hockeying them.
I know that might just be a headbutt. There is the impact
Yeah.
right there.
Like, it could be coming from both hands that were together here, but
It could just be.
yeah,
They
it-
made him do a headbutt.
might just be a headbutt. What part of the body is the Jet Oda sensei?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Ah, I thought we were painting this as a, it's his writing ability or something. Like, I thought it was going to be a pun, but no, it is just his hockey. Are we going to see him? I mean, like, we're seeing him in shadow. Oh boy, that profile shot of him is wild. That head is so powerful in profile. I love it. I mean, even when he's coming in towards them, it looks like the barest hint of like a mohawk or something. Like, as opposed to the fin. It works surprisingly well. Rory will be fine, but you're not a manga artist or editor, so you know what would happen if you tried to approach, right? This feels more like Nen. It feels like more of a, if you approach him, he'll just instantly kill you, as opposed to you're just gonna pass out. Okay, he does have speaking lines. I really thought he wouldn't. Oh, so you want to surpass me, eh? That's Oda's voice. It's Oda's voice. Well then, do me a favor. Keep this autograph safe for me.
Do we need the speech bubble?
They really, this one is so obvious. They really didn't need to do that one. What is this joke? When a mom takes her glasses off in the manga business, we call that a mama ragon. What? See,
That's like is that a Sharingan thing? I don't know.
maybe. I don't know where the raw from this is coming from. Like, Roboco is usually, I like it because it usually doesn't do gags like this, where someone's just standing around, they're like, by the way, extra gag. I'm losing my mind at Oda Sensei's giant hand. Because we see his hand next to her. But it's so much bigger here. Like, is this just the feeling? Like, is it her imagining the feeling of Oda Sensei's giant hand? I guess that has to be it, yeah, because he is leaving in this shot. Or no. He gives her the autograph, and then he stands back up here. So there's still enough time for him to put his giant hand on her. No, don't you dare show Oda Chainsaw Man! The half-hearted resolve in Roboco's plagiarized manga wouldn't even let her get close. Good end. That's a good end. Boy, I sure hope they get the rights to depicting Oda if me and Roboco ever gets an anime. Because it's going to be real weird if they have to swap him out with a nameless other mangaka. Like, they have to do a Shonen Jack, but with Oda.
Now, how does this stack up with the Oda we know and love from the quote-unquote love from the SPSs?
This is definitely more of, this is not Oda writing Oda. This is a fan imagining Oda. This is, I believe, 100% what the mean Roboco mangaka thinks Oda is like.
Yeah. Meanwhile, if this was actually Oda, there would be 50 times more awoogas.
Oh, yeah. Pulls off pants, wooga wooga!
All of his dialogue should just be replaced with cartoon sound effects.
He doesn't have the pure... He has too much gag energy for me in Roboco.
He does! I've never seen a gag series on the level of Oda existing.
Oda and the SBS is the kind of gag comedy I hate. It's too out there. Yeah, this is good. I am glad that this isn't a, by the way, here's something that happened in chapter 1000 joke. It is just a, like, here's the general, like, the turn of the year is also when they do the banquet. I don't know if they did the banquet this year or not, but, like, I am glad that this is just a, like, let's do the Tezuka Awards. Also, let's make Oda look really cool.
How does this rank compared to the Psyche chapter for the 20th anniversary of One Piece?
I think this one is more fun. The Psyche chapter felt more like it had a lot of gags early on that had nothing to do with the tribute, and then the last panel was a very, like, serious tribute. Whereas I think this one handled it a bit better. Like, I think Ruri's whole thing here is also probably just the mangaka writing this. Like, it's so extremely clear. Bakuman, I mean, do you mean all of Bakuman or chapter 1, or this one chapter of me and Roboco? Because I gotta say Bakuman as opposed to, who did it better. In terms of general Oda depictions, though, I think it would be this one, then uh, Inuyashiki.
Was Oda in Inuyashiki?
Yeah, they lived near him. Remember? Remember the lady who's remember the girl whose dad was Oda, and they see Oda once.
What?
You talked about this.
The girl whose dad was Oda, and they see
Yeah.
Oda once.
Or One Piece Inuyashiki.
I know the One Piece references Inuyashiki, but I don't remember.
Mhm. Right, this guy, the famous manga author Oda, who also has a daughter named Oda.
I did forget about this.
Mhm.
Is this supposed to be Ichiro Oda?
I don't think anything has definitively said it, but everyone assumes so. It has to be. I mean, a fandom user said this is definitely a reference to Ichiro Oda, the writer of One Piece.
I hate it.
It's Oda. It's Oda. I'm glad that this is Oda's father, but the page is Oda. We don't have a link to the girl at all. Anyways, that is what I call Roboco. I need to move over these slowly because I forgot which thingy this was. Let's do the author comments in order to get your spicy pepler peps in there. And then I will keep this going and do the pre-recordeds, but you can leave. I will no longer hold you hostage. Thank you very much for still being around. Oh, by the way, did you hear that they're still doing the journey through One Piece? Oh, they don't have a thing for it here, but I think there's probably one still in like Manga Plus. At the very least, they did release, a new 10 chapters for free. So we're still on the journey to One Piece. All right. I keep on forgetting when I don't. You'll never find a diamond this cheap. Wait, did they localize it as diamond is forever? What? No, they didn't. That clearly says diamond is unbreakable. I guess it's just the ad that is wrong. Jujutsu Kaisen's already getting a prequel. All right. Author comments / mangaka musings. Yeah. I mean, it's a rough one, though. I guess, like, a lot of the New Year's wishes I've heard have been very couched. They've been very, like, I hope this year's better. That is really the safest way of saying it. This one's already not great. I mean, all of these just going to be people saying congrats to One Piece for 1,000 chapters? I feel like it would be a big faux pas to not say it, but at the same time, it would feel weird to say, like, oh yeah, I guess it is cool that they got to come back for this one shot so that they could also just say thanks to Oda. That is cool. This week's jump is like the 1,000 Sunny. True, we are finally at 1,000. Like, my favorite Arlong, aside from the one in the manga, is the Arlong from Grand Battle 2. Yeah, it looks like these are all going to just be congrats to 1,000 One Piece chapters. Even Komoto pulled together the will to say, to make a One Piece reference and to say this is cool. I really thought when he said Grand Battle, I didn't realize he meant One Piece Grand Battle. I thought this was just going to be I like this game. This is so cool! Okay, the mangaka of Undead Unluck does just love Smoker. I was just saying when we were talking about the volume cover, how, like, is this does Tosca really like Smoker, or was this just because the parallel of Smoker on one side and on the other was too good to pass up? My first realization was during the Arlong arc. God, that's one hell of a way to put it. Like, with all the younger mangaka, it is this big, like, it's really cool to see that, if nothing else, at the very least, they got a, thing running alongside One Piece during Chapter 1000s. But with a big veteran coming back, it feels even weirder. As like, Yabuki's entire career has been inside of the length of One Piece. This is so cool. And yeah, like, I did read a Gravity Boys off camera because that's just kind of what I do. So I do know it ended. And I think that's fine. Like, I think if you're going to say anything that is not about One Piece during the Chapter 1000 celebration, it would make sense for it to be the, my series is ending. Like, I'll give him that one. I expected it. We've got a Beetle connection on the cover. Oh, right, because of Beetle Man. Or that's not his name, but I forgot what his name was. Um, Her it's a pun on Hercules, right? I know it in general. I just don't know it specifically. So that is Weekly Shonen Jump for the week of January the 3rd, 2021. Oh, I'm gonna get real messed up on that one. When I write out 2021, it's fine. But 2020 is so easy to say. It's gonna be a weird one. Now, I am going to end this officially in order to free Pep from his curse. However, I'm still going to be streaming this, so if anyone pops in and they want to talk about Black Clover, that's fine. Oh no, actually, that might be dangerous, because that is... I get to talk about Black Clover every week, and people can't call me out on how wrong and bad I am about everything until it gets to, YouTube. It might be dangerous to let people call me out now. I forgot that Seke, the Scary Knights, the Bronze Knight, was a part of this arc. I kept on mistaking someone else for him. Goodbye, enjoy the curse that is sleep. And if you are still with me on the dark ride of nothingness, let us move on together to Black Clover, page 277, the Vice Captain of the Golden Dawn. Yeah, that typo I will take the blame for. Like, sometimes it is just the device, not knowing what I'm doing. But with that one, I definitely missaid device, or, the vice. I slur V's into other words quite a lot. Is this the year of the bull? I didn't think about it until right now. Usually, every single year, it's such a background noise thing that I don't even think about it. I do see, a bunch of articles talking about, this is the year of the whatever. And, this is what it means, and, this is the last time it happened. The general boilerplate stuff. I didn't see any of those this year. To be fair, yeah, we're not actually in the Chinese New Year, so never mind. I guess that's probably why I haven't heard about it yet. I feel like I hear stuff like it's, after the, New Year. Okay, so it's Ox. Cool. Ah, the Vice Captain of the Golden Dawn. So, I think this is going to be a big ol', being extremely dank arc. Or, fight, at the very least. Also, not a big fan of these faces, honestly. I think Noelle's too round. Her face is too circular here. I think it looks fine on all the other girls. And of course, Sekra, or, Nero, does have, her head shape. That's still more rigid and, scary, quote-unquote. But Noelle's really just messing with me. Also, these kimonos do look good. I am glad that this is it's a cover where it is, designed as if this is an actual print on a kimono, as opposed to just, pasting the imprint on it. Ah, you're the one who's going to die. Die regretting that you ever meddled with the Golden Dawn. It's going to take me a little bit before I can say whether I really like this look or not. So far, still under the asymmetrical look. Oh boy. No, you jinxed it. You already jinxed it. Man, I wish I liked picture magic more than I do. It is conceptually really, really cool. It's just, every time, Yuki Tabata is so good at drawing very ornate, cool things. But whenever he draws picture magic, it just feels too pasty to me. To be fair, this is different. This is lower res than usual. It's not an explosion of... I guess it is, though. There's a lot of texture on it. It's a different lot of texture than his other painting attacks. But it's still kind of overwhelming to me. So, does Charlotte have something in her sleeves? Can she pull off something really cool? Because she is, she is someone with a curse. So, this isn't a extremely personal situation. It's not the two of them have any specific beef. But she has, a bigger stake in this. So... Oh, I didn't even think about the fact that Vanica was, just silent, not silently, but, she was just casually trashing Yami. So, what conclusion is Charlotte going to come to? Is this going to be a rage-filled, how dare you talk about the man I love like that? Or is it going to be more of a, this is a classic Bleach move of, you thought I was using my abilities before, but actually those were wrong. I learned the true name of my Zanpakuto. Right, I forgot that the Briar Trees were specifically, Like, it wasn't just that she was cursed and, dying, and, the briar symbolized her prickly nature and also her being trapped. I forgot that it was specifically it converted her magic into the briar tree magic. Dorothy told me the curse magic of this world originated with Magicula. Magicula is the father of all curses. So, that also means she theoretically has one more power-up laying in the wait. Like, you have her original magic, which was good enough for her to be a captain. Then you have on top of that whatever she's doing here, the true way to use the cursed briars. And then on top of that, I imagine if the curse is ever lifted, that's going to be a big ol' she doesn't have the briar magic anymore. Like, that is no longer she has whatever magic she used to have. But she has the added benefit of not having it converted into anything. The stronger the enemy's curse, the more of the curse they absorb, and the lovelier their blooms grow. So she took her curse magic and turned it into anti-curse magic. Which does tie into Vonica, cockily going I wish I'd fought, the two people on whom my magic wouldn't work. She didn't realize that, and this is such a Black Clover move. In the same way that it makes sense that Asta's anti-magic comes from someone who just, trained really hard and who wanted to be able to undo magic. It makes so much sense that, in the same way, a form of magic negation that you have to work towards would inherently be better / more powerful than one that you're just given. Oh, that's Magicula. That's just Magicula talking. Oh, I wonder if we're going to get any, we've been seeing unions in a way. We've seen, the individual sorcerers using a certain percentage of each devil's magic. But we haven't seen them, we haven't done, the same kind of union that Asta and that, I want to say Venti, that's not his name. The vice captain can use. The final fight has to be, Asta performing a devil union and then fighting one of the Dark Triad, also doing a proper, not a proper devil union, but a, using 100%. And I'm curious to see if that's going to be any different. Or if they're functionally the same, but it is just a, hey, we're splitting it 50-50, the vice captain splits it so that he gets all the power, but doesn't really, commune with his spirits, and then this is the, the devils have all the power, the humans don't. Because this also is a clear, it doesn't feel like Magicula is going to just, take this line down. It feels like he's going to be assuming direct control, either now or later. This is my current blue rose, and this is my rightful red rose. At this point, I'm able to use both blue and red roses. This look is okay in black and white. I feel like it's definitely going to be a lot more striking in color, though, obviously. Because it also has I guess it is more symmetrical. The leggings are kind of asymmetrical, but then this is a kind of, perfect blue-red splits. Well, I guess this would be, one and then another one. But still pretty symmetrical. We haven't yet found a replacement for the loss of Yuno's beautiful asymmetry. And yeah, God, again, that is such a Bleach moment of, oh yeah, I guess she did become a captain without being able to access her true power. And this is not yet her true power. This is just, where she currently is. Between her trying her hardest and the Vermilions, just kind of going way too hard all the time. I can definitely see a fair bit of power escalation that doesn't necessarily need to rely on new stuff. Though I do want to see new stuff. I really love the arrays for just being this thing that visually impacts the series and also, explains why everyone got so much stronger. Okay, this seems like it is Vonica now, though. She's taking on more of Magicula's power, but it doesn't, these aren't the Magicula, bubbles. Unfortunately, I'm not going to fight you. Strength knew nothing about those briars. The stronger the target, the more tightly the power of the curse binds them. Yeah, so, literally, Magicula has to, abandon her here. Any energy that gets put into this is a lost cause. And that also does, that's such a good way for, I don't know if we're going to get a fight with Noelle then. I mean, again, this is Black Clover. He could definitely do the, you thought this would work, but actually I was able to break out, and now we need to do a round 2 fight. But I really, this is such a good line. It's so genuinely cool that they're ending it with just a, yeah, the two of us could have the best fight ever, but you get to die without getting your wish. Like, it's so hardcore. It is her finally being the prickly, you know, emotionless queen, but not in a, like, not in an antagonistic sense. It is her completely denying someone who is evil. Wait, this chapter was called Vice Captain of the Golden Dawn. What? We had one chapter with the Vice Captain of the Golden Dawn. And, like, this isn't a, like, split thing or anything. Like, he had a chapter already. And then, I mean, what was last chapter called? This could just be a printing error. Oh no. As always, I can't actually click on those. Right, last chapter was Boreas, which, yeah, ties into the last page there. So that's just weird. I don't know why Tabata would do that. Like, that is just taking away something that is, taking away focus that should be rightfully one character's and putting it on a different character. Like, there's no benefit to this. If I want to find this chapter again, it's going to be really hard because I'm going to look at the title and say, oh, right, that was the fight with Yuno. Or, like, I'll probably remember, like, future stuff he does and then conflate it all into that. Those happen sequentially as opposed to there was a break. So not a fan of that, but a fan of the chapter overall. Charlotte is... I don't know if I could say she is best captain yet. I mean, not counting Yami. Yami is obviously best captain. But even then, like, he's not that emotional. A lot of what I like about him is what other people say about him, / how other people have been affected by him. But, he is a stoic character. It's hard to be more direct with a character like that without contradicting the point of the character. And I mean, I'm a human being. I like expression. I can empathize a lot more with Charlotte because, she doesn't wear her feelings on her sleeve at all, but we see more of her internal feelings. Which, to be fair, I never thought about until right now. Like, if she could pull herself together, do you think we're going to have a really emotional scene from Yami in this arc? Like the Black Bulls come in and try to save him, but he sees them seemingly, all get defeated in front of his eyes, and he freaks out. Because we still haven't had him do we haven't had him have the visual, now you're joining the Golden Dawn flashback. Or, sorry, the Black Bulls flashback, whoops. And I think that would be a really strong parallel if we see him crack, like more so than his previous, I'm really manly and gritty, let's break through my limits once more right here, right now. If he actually, had a more emotional freakouts, I think that would help Charlotte go oh, right, he isn't impassable. I shouldn't be as scared to talk to him as I am. Anyways, that's Black Clover. I forgot to rank it. Let's put it, above Shokugeki no Sanji, below Dr. Stone. Next we have Our Blood Oath, Chapter 16, Rangetsu. Oof, that's a real wild interpretation. So we've got Shin, we have Ko, we have... Is his name Rangetsu? I mean, whoever it is the guy who interrupted them last time, who I guessed was probably working with the store. I don't think we saw him. I didn't actually go back to check out the store chapter. My name is Rangetsu, or Rangetsu the Vampire, if you prefer. Oh boy, so is this just a, hey, check out Fenrir, look at how cool they are, okay, now they're all gonna get slapped? We just introduced them with them stabbing the old villains and going, now we're really strong. You can't keep doing this. I mean, I know this is a classic shonen tradition, but still. Okay, so, does she know her? Or does she know him? Is this a, we're aware of this person, but he's never interfered until now situation? Or is it a, we have no idea who this is, and what is he doing here? Okay, so they do know who this is. Or at least, they know about him based on reputation. Rumor has it he has as much power as the previous king. Even our boss keeps out an eye for him. Okay. So have they formed a blood oath with Rangetsu? I would doubt it. Because, we've seen what a oath looks like. So maybe it is a more literal oath, maybe it is more of just a, we made an agreement with him, or maybe he is just interfering for no reason. Or for no reason, connected to the kids. Okay. I mean, fair, let's get out of here. Are they going to save the other vampires, though? Or are they just dead now? Whew. Whew. So he's been down for 3 days. Whew. I mean, the fact that he was able to sleep for 3 days means they're probably, they're pretty well protected. Okay, they did save these two. Are they really gonna fold him into the mini-boss squad that easily? There's no way. There's a difference between the classic shonen, I attacked you as soon as we met and we've been clashing blades, but now, even though even though you can't trust that I'm not going to kill you in your sleep, we're still going to fight together. Like there's a difference between that and I took a little girl and I made her eat another little girl. Like, okay, so he's keeping them there. I mean, he still hasn't learned his lesson though. So I'm glad that we have a character who, he is the immediate win button, at least for a little bit. It is a little scary because I feel like we're going to have to escalate to beyond the previous king level of, like levels overall. Unless we are going to focus more on, like, the worlds. Oh, this is his mansion. So maybe they actually did move. I don't remember if they said specifically whether this was the same mansion or not. Like, we know their mansion was destroyed, and I was theorizing that, like, maybe it rebuilt itself with vampire powers or something. But it could also just be their parents' mansion got destroyed when their parents were killed, and they had to move in with their uncle, or whoever this is. Or, like, however they're related. Okay, so he is literally their uncle. Like, blood uncle, I mean. I think we knew that already, right? Huh. I hear you attempted to turn an innocent child into a vampiric beast. Okay, so, like, I don't know what I want from this. Because I don't want it to be I'm going to kill you right now in front of the brothers. Like, that would be too harsh. That's not what the series is about. But it also can't just be well, you're free to go. Like, you'll learn your lesson. Even if it was you're going to hang out with us and we're going to teach you to be a good vampire. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. There has to be some level of punishment, but I don't know what it would be. Okay, so he threw some blood on the grounds. Oh, so he was... I wonder, maybe the mansion is vampiric, actually. Like, maybe their parents, because I imagine there's probably, like, a vampire castle or something, which they didn't live in. Maybe they always lived with their uncle. Or, like... it might even be, depending on how vampire society works, maybe, like, it is just their uncle has to own the house because kids aren't allowed to own the house, or something. But it does seem like it is literally a vampire house. Like, rather than this being, like, a special blood magic spell or something, it is him just activating the house. Incidentally, only I can cause that mouth to appear. Stay down there and think about what you've done until you turn to a beast like her. Okay. I think this is really good. Because I think this is the perfect, like, ambiguous level of punishment. Like, if they keep kind of down there... I keep on messing up kindness pronouns, by the way. Whoops. But, like, if they keep him down there for, like, a year, that's really messed up. Like, they shouldn't do that. But if this is only I can cause his mouth to open, and, like, I need you to seriously think about it. You've been acting blasé, but now I'm actually going to threaten you. Like, I think that would be... okay, because it is literally, like, not even eye for an eye. This isn't I'm going to make you eat your best friend. This is not I'm going to kill you. It is like, I'm going to keep you down there, and if I do, like, if you're going to keep on acting like this, if you are still going to be the kind of person who would kill an innocent child, then you can turn into a monster. I'm not saying it's necessarily just, but it makes enough sense to me. It doesn't feel way too crazy. So... with that in mind, God, just close Nord. Our Blood Oath is a solid. It's got to go in the lower rankings. Like, it's okay. I do think Sanji was probably more fun than this chapter. So yeah, right there. One more, let's go. We got Sakamoto Days, Days 6, Nagumo. I don't know if anyone is going to be able to interpret those as being the chapter titles. It got real bad when no one was watching. Okay, so it is, I guess, just her... No, I was going to say, this is just her adjustment chapter. I don't think this is even going to be an adjustment chapter. I think this is our adjustment page, and this chapter is going to be like here's why she's valuable here chapter, but not necessarily like, she's going to have trouble with it chapter. Oh, she has had a job. But yeah, fair. Like, this is what the shop is for. Like, it is specifically for Sakamoto, but it is this general, like, if you are, a bad person, or if you're trying to get away from killing people, like, this is where you can go. Oh boy, it didn't even peg on me for a second that he was talking. He's talking so much! What happened? I mean, we know there's thin Sakamoto when he uses up too much, too many calories. So are we doing the this Kodo Sensei from Assassination Classroom thing of there are many modes of Sakamoto and like something flipped his talkie switch and now he's going to be talking normally and we have to fix it and once he's been fixed he goes back to not talking. Hmm. But yeah, like even that joke up there wasn't really him. So is this just yeah, this has to be a fake Sakamoto then. Like the that's rude you want to die is also real weird. Looks like Sakamoto himself is walking in, so... Oh, they probably delivered the newspaper, so we walked out to get the newspaper. How did no one notice that? Wait a minute. How did Lou not notice that? She came in late. Like, how did she not see Sakamoto outside? I guess, whoever this is, they probably actually, did something specifically to make Sakamoto walk a distance away or go behind the store or something. Also, it does look like it is the second Sakamoto, like the one who isn't talking, who went in for the attack. God damn. Oh, we didn't even get an effect for that. Like we got a sound effects, but we didn't get a the face shifting thing. So this is Nagumo. So why is he here? Also, I wonder if his gag's going to be just the, he lies as easily as he breathes, and Sakamoto has to actually explain what, the truth is. There's a price on your head, Sakamoto. 1 billion yen. That's so much! I mean, that's way too much. Like, for 1 billion yen. 1 billion yen would be, okay, so 100 million, 10 million. So $10 million. For $10 million, someone would definitely blow up the store. Like, if nothing else. Pizza Nakajima, Pizza Man Assassin. But okay, if we're getting multiple, also, he's trying to kill this guy, so I assume this is going to be a, Nagumo didn't really mean to come here and scare them. It was just a, I genuinely don't want to hurt you situation. Oh, that's a good Sakamoto face. Nagumo, don't. So, I mean, it's such a good concept for a series. Sakamoto has 1 billion yen on his head, and it's not that his wife doesn't know about it, which I like. Like, I'm glad this isn't going to be let's do a lot of close calls, let's, put his wife in danger because she has no idea what's going on. I mean, we might still do that, because he wouldn't want to worry her. So I think we'll have a series of arcs where he is trying to hide it from her, and eventually she'll find out, and then we'll have a few more arcs of he needs to get rid of this bounty. But she's fine with him, fighting in order to protect them. She's fine with him doing that as long as he doesn't kill. We specialize in preventing assassinations. You know all about that, don't you, Sakamoto? This feels kind of like a union situation. Like, this feels like Sakamoto might join... Like, not that he might get into the game, technically, but he might be, a counter-assassin. Because that would also be a good premise of, Sakamoto's no longer in danger himself, but now he's just kind of wandering around stopping assassinations. But that would put him back in danger. Like, his endgame has to be, completely out, no one messes with him, no one, messes with his life. And that is the question, how would anyone benefit from his death now? Like, he's doing some general, superhero-y things. It feels weird to say he's a superhero, but, it is a lot of, fighting in the shadows and jumping across buildings and stuff. Like, I could see him being a general nuisance if there's just, a kingpin in this town. Oh, did he leave behind, a bomb or something? Oh, no. Okay, right, Pizza Guy... I forgot about Pizza Guy. Yeah, he's taking Pizza Guy out. Pizza Guy's pizza had a tracker on it. These faces and the shading feel very Mob Psycho. Like, not quite, but I think it's specifically lower face here and upper face here, where they have, the big expressions. Like, the big expressions and the, big shading remind me a lot of Mob Psycho. Also, big shading, strong outlines.
It feels more Chainsaw Man to me.
I think Chainsaw Man's more anime than this.
Those two panels that you were talking about specifically.
Fair.
I just looked over to see what you were talking about.
But yeah, I could see that kinda.
It's mainly in the eyes. Every time I look at a Chainsaw Man, the eyes feel like they're not looking at anything.
Okay. He's a former member of the Order. So, actually, that's the question. Is the Order going to protect him? This is a warning. If you continue to come after me, get ready to see hell. I'm not a super big fan of this panel. It looks cool, but I don't know. It feels like there would have been a better time to use this. Like, also, it's just a tiny tracker, which makes it feel weird. And here's the new shenanigans. They should be staying home, but no, they're going to an amusement park. All right, next chapter, January 17th. Let's do it. Let's see ya then. It feels weird ending this not at the author comments. This still feels so zoomed into me. I should probably copy this, actually. I don't know if I made my thumbnail yet. Thank you all for watching this reaction. It was a good time. Happy chapter 1000 of One Piece. Let's hope it continues as long as it needs to before it ends. I'm not going to say here's to another 1,000. That might be a curse. Especially if he hasn't really slept for 23 years straight. Thank you all so much once more. I always reset there, so sorry if you don't want to hear the thanks, but you're going to hear the thanks. Bye for now. Yeah.